Alright, 7 o'clock and as we join the Eastern Caribbean, let's go to the top and come right back.
The number one morning show in the SVG.
Morning.
OMG in the morning.
Come on now.
How do you feel when your baby is gone? How do you sleep with no one to keep you warm? You toss and turn and cry all night. It's such a feeling, Lord, it gives an awful fright. I made a mistake when I grieved her heart. She couldn't stand it, she decided we part. I've gotta find her and apologize. I want no one else, she's just my size. Oh, oh, oh. How do you feel when your baby is gone? How do you sleep? No one to keep you warm. You toss and turn, cry all night. It gives a feeling, Lord, it's such an awful fright. I made a mistake when I grieved her heart. She couldn't stand it, she decided we part. Now I've gotta find her and apologize. I want no one else, she is just my size. Oh, 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 oh. Gotta find her. Say sorry, I miss you, I love you.
I need your love more than you'll ever know.
OMG in the morning. Morning.
If there's something you don't like about me, then please tell me now. You are my only. Every moment of every day. Just promise me one thing, yeah. You'll never go astray. Hey. Sometimes I get in a crazy mood, and you might just read me wrong, but God knows, oh yes He knows, you're the one who keeps me strong. I need your love more than you'll ever know. If there's something you don't like about me, then please tell me now. I want you always, every moment of every day. Just promise me one thing, you'll never go astray. Yeah. 'Cause sometimes when the pressure gets too hard, there's no one to turn to, and I see you, that smile so reassuring, yes. This I want you to know. I need your love. I need your love more than you ever know.
Somebody help me with shade here this morning, please.
6-9.
Could somebody help me with DJ Shady this morning? Oh my goodness gracious. Off the top, DJ Shady playing warmers, what we call warmers in this business. Some of you will know. Warmers more. I'm waiting for him to go back across it so I could trouble him this morning. Yeah, it's 7 minutes after 7 o'clock inside OMG. It's Monday morning. You know, morning, highly flavored. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, you guys. Let me let you know what you can expect this morning. What are you doing there? What are you doing there, really? What is he doing? Boy, let me see, boy. Way to start this morning with DJ Shady, boy. He doing his work, he said. Warmers. Maybe we should change your name to Warmers. It's Monday morning, as I said earlier. Tomorrow is Tuesday, March 14th. A bank holiday. I don't know why I didn't put the damn bank holiday on a Monday, as the Cutler said. You know, instead of breaking up the week and making you have a very unproductive week. But listen what we're going to have in this hour. At 7:45 this morning, we have Council joining us, Jomo Thomas. He'll be inside from 7:45. At the top at 8 o'clock, well, just after 8 o'clock, we have a guest inside with us. This morning, Mr. Luke Brown will be joining us to discuss national heroes. He's going to be making a presentation of national heroes. That's at 8 o'clock. At about 8:30, 8:45, we got Mr. Weeks, the most loved man on radio. Yeah. And at 9:45, we've got Dr. Richards, all inside OMG in the morning, as we give you the best music and the best conversation right here in OMG in the morning. So, this morning, let me wait until Shady gets what he's doing there, because I can't. I don't know. I don't know why he's doing. What is he doing? I know you can do it from that computer, but I don't know why he's doing it. What are you doing, Shady? What are you doing? Jesus. Yeah, but does your work have to be right here? I need some room. This morning, let me see if I can pull it this morning. Or should I wait until he's finished? You want me to give you a minute there? No, I think I should give you a minute. Let me give him a minute. So today, this morning, the 13th, is going to be a big morning in SVG. Big in terms of anticipation for some, as at around 9 o'clock this morning, Judge Escrow Henry will be returning her verdict on the much anticipated case, which will be given the hand down of her judgment of the, what do you call it now? The vaccination laws. There was a pandemic. What do you call it? There's a special name for it. But the law, she'll be handing down her verdict on the vaccination laws. Now that will be very anticipated by a lot of people. It will be coming on the heels of National Heroes Day, right before National Heroes Day. And that is going to be something that a lot of people will be waiting to hear at 9 o'clock this morning, including me, of course. Her ruling on the removal of teachers, public servants, some police officers from their jobs on the vaccine mandate. We all will be waiting patiently to hear. One thing I can assure you though, and I don't know if Council Thomas will have a minute to discuss it this morning when he comes in at 7:45, is whatever the ruling is, whoever it goes against, that side will appeal. I can tell you for a fact that if the ruling goes against the government, they will appeal. For an absolute fact. And they will appeal immediately. So too, I believe, if the ruling goes against those who took the matter to court, that they themselves would appeal as well too. So we will wait, and we will wait patiently at 9 o'clock when Justice Henry will hand down her ruling. A lot of people have been waiting for quite some time.
How do you think it will go?
Boy, I asked a lawyer friend of mine yesterday, and he said to me, Bing, I never can predict these things. But whatever happens on Wednesday morning, we'll have a special guest with us to discuss this matter. Wherever way the ruling goes, we'll have a special guest on Wednesday morning to discuss that, Shady. You are hoping for what?
Justice to be appeared, so?
Justice to be appeared to be served. Okay. Whichever way, right?
Whichever way.
Whichever way. That would be an interesting one on Monday morning. We got some commercials. We're going to take a quick commercial break, as we have to do at this time. And we come back inside as we prepare for our Council Jomo Thomas to hear his take and his feelings. Of course, tomorrow being National Heroes Day, we got Luke Brown joining us inside at 8 o'clock. And he will speak on national heroes. So we got a tight morning for you this morning right here on OMG. Let's start it, Shady, as we take a quick break and come right back right here at OMG in the morning. Go ahead.
Thinking of winning the lotto jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 lotto numbers.
Coca-Cola, Digicel, and Ticket Pal.
The Patriot Company Limited. With services like terrazzo construction, terrazzo restoration, terrazzo maintenance, concrete grinding, pressure washing, janitorial services, carpet cleaning, home and office cleaning. We offer services at affordable prices. Call us for all your janitorial services and terrazzo services. It's the Patriot Company Limited, Green Hill, P.O. Box 2046, Kingstown, VC 0100. Or you can contact us at 457-6650 or 457-2057. Or email the Patriot Company Limited at gmail.com or ncjackson4753@gmail.com. The Patriot Company Limited. Service at its best.
When you're behind the wheel, stay alert. Driving safely should always be your top priority. Protect yourself and other road users by keeping your attention on the road. Stay alive, avoid distractions like cell phones, and maintain a safe distance from other vehicles. Only overtake when it is absolutely safe to do so. And remember to be on the lookout for motorcycles.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
It's a pleasant experience with friendly, knowledgeable staff always ready to serve. What more could you wish for, huh? So come to General Hardware for proper service, lowest prices, free delivery, and see why nobody beats the General. Nobody.
It's the Quartz Optical Annual Frame Event. Get up to 85% off on selected frames. Book your appointment at www.quartzoptical.com. Get that frame today with no cash from 3 to 24-month credit plans. You don't want to miss it. The annual frame event, up to 85% off, only at Quartz Optical. See in store for details. Quartz Optical, value you can see.
The Mindset, bringing you emotional clarity with therapeutic discussions, illuminating your awareness and getting expert advice on mental health issues that we struggle with on a daily basis. Tune into The Mindset on Tuesday and Wednesdays at 11:15 a.m. right here on Boom 106.9.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company. Call us today at 784-456-1821 or email us at metrosint@vincisurf.com.
District Stairs is celebrating Heritage Month with 10% off all vinyl flooring and free shipping during the month of March. Vinyl flooring is beautiful, versatile, water resistant, and durable. Vinyl flooring, ideal for commercial and office buildings. It's the most affordable flooring and so easy to install that you can do it yourself. Find District Stairs on Instagram, Facebook, or districtstairs.com or WhatsApp 289-2007-649. At District Stairs, you'll find vinyl flooring that's suitable for every room in the home.
Boom 106.9. SVG's number one.
Hottie gal, 10 out of 10. But how come she never have a boyfriend? Hottie gal, 10 out of 10. Pictures on the plane, stamping your passport, and next country again. But who is the escort? All that fancy food you buy, caption me, myself and I. Gal, we not taking mama guy, cause every pen you dey, mass you dey, all up in the VIP Dubai you dey, Miami, and not boasting nobody. Vacation pics when you want the sun. Gal, all I we know you dey with the people, man. Why you don't post him? Show off your man crush Monday, pose him. Since you're out there, pose him. We want to know who's the man you do show on Instagram. Why you don't put him up, put him up, put him up. Make him out, gal. Put him up, put him up. Is he who take you out, gal? Put people, man. Why you don't pose him? Show off your man crush Monday, pose him. Since you're out there, pose him. We want to know who's the man you do show on Instagram. Why you don't put him up, put him up, put him up. Make him out, y'all. Put him up, is he who take you out?
Pause him.
Put him up, make him out. Tag the photographer behind the camera.
Every time she come my way, look at the tongue when you dip down there. Sweetness, yeah, apple, I won't try to.
Yeah, Shady.
It's a carnival every time she touch down there. Tip at the tongue when you hit my brain. Give me one look and I just want it. But they say, take your time when you go down there. You go spend all your coin and end up in Ate. But I don't pray, nah. I go take all my chances. I've been waiting so long, I want it night and day. Hey, my lady, give me a piece of that chup chup, darling. One piece of that chup chup, darling. So long you've been saving it, non-stop, girl, I craving it. I want some of that chup chup, darling. Sweetness when it rolling. Look back when it rolling. Things nice when it rolling. And I love how it feeling when it rolling. It bounce when it rolling. Can't stop you from rolling. Yeah. And then I look through the window. I see she step and she tiptoe. And when you know how the thing is going, she knows what I'm into. But just with this over me, I've been begging on my knees. Want me spend my salary, baby. Granny say, yeah, boy, don't twist up your head down there. They go knock out your teeth and put your ass in bed. But I don't care, nah, 'cause I'm strong and I able. And I want what I want and need it right away. Hey, sweet baby, give me a piece of that chup chup, darling. One piece of that chup chup, darling. So long you've been saving it, non-stop, girl, I craving it. I want some of that chup chup, darling. Sweetness when it rolling. Look back when it rolling. Things nice when it rolling. And I love how it feeling when it rolling. It bounce when it rolling. Can't stop you from rolling.
Sunrise, blue skies, in my eyes. Boy, you look like heaven and up. Them girl on 10 eyes, 11 and up. You can't do no better, you know. When the sweat dripping down my body, wetting it up. And I just can't get enough of you. Like slow, me bubbling. Moving my waist if you walk, I'm troubling. And when times get troubling, I need a man who on top of things. Stick to the program for you. You don't see anything, everything I'll do for you. So let me show them we grown up, I'm a big girl now. So let we take a drink of the rum. We grown up, give me that walk. Party till the sun comes up. We grown up, I'm a big girl now. So let we take a drink on the rock. We grown up, nobody can say stop. Young and we party hard. You see that wine? I love it too bad. Young and we party hard. To give you up, I can't do that. Outside, long nights, good vibes. I just want to spend it with you. Get the bread and cheddar with you. Everything feels better with you. When the sweat dripping down our body, button it up. And I just can't get enough of you. Like slow and we bubbling. Moving my waist if you walk, I'm troubling. And when times get troubling, I need a man who on top of things. Stick to the program for you. You don't see anything, everything I'll do for you. So let me show them we grown up, I'm a big girl now. So let we take a drink of the rum. We grown up, give me that walk. Party till the sun comes up. We grown up, I'm a big girl now. love it too bad. Young and we party hard. To give you up, I can't do that. Young and we party hard. You see that wine? I love it too bad. Young and we party hard. To give you up, I can't do that.
This is Calypso. Happy people, happy dance. Soca music, Trinidad, the best.
Cool 1069.
I want to dance with you. You make me feel so good. I love how you rock my world. This long overdue. Because I wanna be your lifeline forever, every day. I pray. Hold on, no matter if life hard in the darkest days. Love on the moonlight forever in the stars. I say, come let me dance from night time till the morning rays. Because I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, forever. We never ever go forever. And we keep on holding on, yeah. And we keep on holding on. Lifelines, so we keep on holding on, holding on. So we keep on holding on, holding on. We keep on holding on, holding on. So we keep on holding on, yeah. One time, I know better road, said the life is rough. Cause we shall be everywhere with respect and trust. Tie down to my heart so the clock can't stop. And if I miss a beat, call for Dr. Love. Cupid, shoot a arrow, never miss one shot. Promise I never share an elastic bus. See me step in your temple. Introduce for all of that December. Lifeline forever, every day. I pray. Hold on, no matter if life hard in the darkest days. Love on the moonlight forever in the stars. I say, come let me dance from night time till the morning rays. Because I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, 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 forever. I wanna be your lifeline forever, forever. We never ever go forever. And we keep on holding on, yeah. And we keep on holding on. Lifeline, so we keep on holding on, holding on. So we keep on holding on, holding on. We keep on holding on, holding on. So we keep on holding on, yeah. One time. This is Calypso. Happy people, happy dance. Soca music, Trinidad, Tobago. Excellent. I want to dance with you. You make me feel so good. I love how you rock my world. This long overdue. Because I wanna be your lifeline forever, every day. I pray. Hold on, no matter if life hard in the darkest days. Love on the moonlight forever in the stars.
Oh boy, when it rains, it pours. Listen, I wanted to get into something this morning, and I wanted to bring evidence of what I wanted to talk about. Give me instrumental, this lady. However, I'm having some technical challenges playing the recording of that evidence which I wanted to bring this morning. So yesterday I listened to a program which Prime Minister Gonsalves appeared on, and the question of National Heroes Day, the Garifuna International Garifuna Conference came up, and what was said at that conference and what wasn't said. On that discussion the question of what Dr. Gonsalves would have said in the past with relations to Garifunians coming back to St. Vincent for honorary citizenship came up. And Dr. Gonsalves denied what he said back then when he spoke about, he questioned what honorary citizenship meant for the Garifunians. When they come back, are they coming back to take our lands? Are they coming back to take our jobs? He denied that he said that. And so this morning, I have a recording with Dr. Gonsalves making those pronouncements, making those statements in the past. And I wanted to get it played, but as fate would permit, we're not getting it connected. What's that? Shady said he's doing something else over there. I don't know what he's doing. As fate would be, we can't get the recording to play. I'll put down the microphone because I can't hear over there. My headphone is. What did you say there?
Just give me 2 minutes.
Just give him 2 minutes. Where he questioned, when we give Garifuna honorary citizenship, he questioned, what does that mean? Honorary citizenship. Are they coming back home to take our lands? Are they coming back to take our jobs, your jobs? And he denied saying that. You get it? Okay. So he denied saying that. So Shady, I want you to play for me, and I'll tell you when to stop it. Let me turn up your channel there, pull down the music a little bit. And I want you to play it for me now, please. Play Dr. Gonsalves in his own voice. Play it for me, please.
When you give them honorary citizenship, our Garifuna brothers and sisters, are they coming out from Belize, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala? They're coming out from those countries for jobs in St. Vincent. Huh? They're coming for your houses. I want to know what this involves.
Somebody from Shady. That's Dr. Gonsalves in living color. Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, Gonsalves. However, he never said that. And I wish I had the recording from yesterday. And from the conference as well, in which he was saying, that's not what he said. But tell me what you hearing here. Go again, Shady.
When you give them honorary citizenship, our Garifuna brothers and sisters, are they coming out from Belize, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala? They're coming out from those countries for jobs in St. Vincent. Huh? They're coming for your houses. I want to know what this involves.
Right. I want to know if the organizers of the International Garifuna Conference, which took place last week and ended on, yesterday or Saturday, how do they feel when they hear Prime Minister Gonsalves, who was one of the guest lecturers at the conference, how do they feel when they hear our Prime Minister say this about them? Shady gone.
When you give them honorary citizenship, our Garifuna brothers and sisters, are they coming out from Belize, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala? They're coming out from those countries for jobs in St. Vincent. Huh? They're coming for your houses. I want to know what this involves.
What is this at all? What is this at all? Where is really? Why somebody didn't play this recording at the conference? Some people really have guts, boy. Some people have guts, boy. Good morning, caller. Your life.
Good morning, Brother Bing. How are you? Hope you had a good week, and I wish you all the best for tomorrow. National Heroes Day. I don't feel good about it, but let me just say to you, this is Hammy. You know me, and I've been speaking about Mr. Gonsalves because I gave hundreds of other definitions, including what he did to the people in the Hill, and he would pursue them. What he did when Mr. Leacock had to play back that tape, no debt, because I was part of that institution called ULP when they said they were going to build an airport without a debt. Everything about the economy that is dishonest, everything about crime. I listened to a presentation a few weeks ago, pushed by Dougie the Freitas, pushing him on crime with some police officers, making a fool of themselves. Because let me say this, police officers, you have no right to...
Mr. Hamilton, we stick to what we're speaking about.
Well, I know you're speaking about a particular topic, but the topic is deceit. And I'm saying this is the hardest part. If somebody listens in Timbuktu, and they listen from England and listen to Bing, you hear them saying, our Prime Minister. I want you to understand, there's an obligation for Mr. Gonsalves to follow the laws and to be honest. It goes outside of the Constitution. And if somebody comes in your house and interfere with your family and they break the law, I'm sure you're not going to call them honorable. And I'm saying this is the problem with Gonsalves. Gonsalves, when you done play this recording and so on, he is going to laugh at you. Say, look at Bing. I wonder why Bing is so loyal to me. Is it that you have to understand we have to call him out? Bing, we cannot. A prime minister is honest. We're seeing what has happened to Joe Biden, while literally, I'm sure next election he can't make it, even against Trump. And I'm saying, all I'm begging you from this discussion, stop this, say Gonsalves, stop this prime minister thing. Don't we and they no hate. I'm saying, let us demand respect.
Hold on.
What?
Dr. Gonsalves is not your prime minister?
Dr. Friday, I doesn't see him as an opposition leader either.
No. So who's the prime minister of St. Vincent?
The Prime Minister of St. Vincent the Grenadines, right, literally is an office that is held by an individual.
And who holds that office? And who holds the office of the leader of the opposition?
Who hold the office in Russia with Maduro killing people? Not Maduro. I am saying to you, you don't have you're not in Parliament. Said Mr. Hey, Mike, trying to understand what I'm saying.
Mr. Hamilton, no matter how you feel about the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, you have to respect the office of both. No matter how you feel.
I respect the office of the Prime Minister. If Hammy right now come in your house and rape your daughter, he must lose his the very prisoners that are in the courthouse, in the prisons, have lost their right to vote fundamentally. I am not here to waste time on whether Prime Minister. I will call him Prime Minister. I will call the Prime Minister Barbados Prime Minister. I will call James Mitchell the Prime Minister. But what I'm saying, do not try and tell us that.
Thank you very much. Shady, go.
When you give them honorary citizenship, our Garifuna brothers and sisters, are they coming out from Belize, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala? They're coming out from those countries for jobs in St. Vincent. They're coming for your houses. I want to know what this involves.
What does this really involve? Did Prime Minister Gonsalves say at the conference? Did he say what it involved? Did he speculate at the conference when he spoke on Friday? The International Garifuna Conference? Did he apologize for that statement? What exactly was he saying? When he went on radio yesterday with Cecil Ryan and P. John, did they ask him? But you stated before, you questioned before, the Garifuna honorary citizenship. Are you walking back from that now? Or they just said, yes, we're not voting, yes. Did they do that as usual? One question about his utterances of the proposal to give Garifuna honorary citizenship, and he responded by saying this, Shady.
When you give them honorary citizenship, our Garifuna brothers and sisters, are they coming out from Belize, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala, They're coming out from those countries for jobs in St. Vincent. Huh? They're coming for your houses. I want to know what this involves.
What exactly did Prime Minister Gonsalves say at this conference to these people? What did he have to say? What exactly did he have to say? Boy, I tell you, we in the media, the fourth estate, have a responsibility to hold our leaders accountable. Has his position changed? Does he now believe that honorary citizenship should be given to the Garifuna? What does he believe? Is he walking back from his statement? Or is he going to still say, I didn't say that? Or that's not what I meant? We got Council Thomas coming up in 2 minutes. On this day, the day before National Heroes Day, Prime Minister Gonsalves yesterday said on radio, well, that's not what I really said, you know. Or that's not what I really meant. After he was selected to be one of the major speakers at the International Garifuna Conference. After he said these words, slapping the Garifunas in their face. I tell you, Shady, we won't have time because we're gonna take Council now. I think he should be backstage. So let's go to him now and see if he's there. Let's get him in. We won't have the time. Let's bring him in right now. It's now time for Council Jomo Thomas. Let's go.
Plain talk. Plain talk with Jomo. Plain talk. Plain talk with Jomo Thomas.
So much things to say right now.
All you talk now.
On OMG.
Just hold on, Council. Hold a minute first, please. Hold a minute. Council, you can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
We're not hearing you. Just stand by, please. Stand by.
Plain talk. Plain talk with Jomo Thomas.
So much things to say right now.
All you talk now.
On OMG.
Council, we had a power outage on the weekend and the settings on the boat changed up, so we're trying to see if we can get it back so we can hear you, okay? I come to you. Want to try? Let's see if we do it via phone then.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you calling? Okay, good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can see you now, but we're hearing you through your phone now. Good morning.
All right. Bing. There's so many things to talk about this morning. We're getting the feedback. I don't know.
Yeah, it's your turn off your computer. Turn it down. Turn down the volume on your computer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, today is March 13th, marks the 44th anniversary of the Grenada Revolution. And that's a very important topic, and I wanted to talk about that significantly today. The day when Justice Henry made the judgment in the vaccine mandate case. I want to talk about that. And then I also want to talk about that clip which you are playing so reminding us of what the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, said back in 2015 as it relates to our ancestors, our people who fought bravely to defend St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to allow people like him to come over here and to emerge as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I happened to be at the conference yesterday. Not yesterday, on Saturday, when the Prime Minister spoke. And there was an attempt to get him to address that issue of apology to our brothers and sisters. And he said he had nothing to apologize for. And the way he tried to do it, the politician that he is, he said, we have done more for Garifuna people than any other government. We build the bridge over Rabaka. We build schools in Sandy Bay and so on and so forth. And it was such a cynical. I felt as though I wanted to vomit, actually, because this is a man who you properly, when you brought his voice, when you give them citizenship, are they coming out to Belize and Nicaragua and Guatemala for your jobs in St. Vincent and Grenadines? Are they coming for your homes? Are they coming for your houses? And you know why this is particularly bad thing? This is the same argument that Milton K2 and James Mitchell and them made about him when he ran as leader of the United People's Movement back in 1979. Because then he was firebrand. I think he was perceived, he was portrayed as the firebrand revolutionary communist. And those guys were saying, leave him as communist and saying, he's going to come and take away your house. If you have 2 fowls, you can take 1. And if you have 2 chickens or 2 goats, they can take 1. So when he was called on to apologize on Saturday, and he refused, it shows that he doesn't care. I mean, listen, Prime Minister Gonsalves, let's get that out there. He's concerned primarily and only about power and the retention of power, and what that does for him. However rich he gets, however chances he gets large over the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In fact, in the exchange when he was being asked to apologize, and he doubled down on this nonsense that he had nothing to apologize for, I shouted across the room, I said, look, in Israel, the people of Israel have a right to return. The government of Israel has a right to return. Duck that. And does not recognize the right of our Garifuna brothers and sisters to return. In fact, back in 2015, playing politics, he tried to make the argument that Mr. Eustace didn't want Jamaicans and St. and Grenadians to come here, but they want the Garifuna to come here. Garifuna belong here. This is Garifuna land. This is the land that they want to defend. The sovereignty and history. They were the ones to ensure that St. Vincent had the shortest period of slavery in the entire Caribbean, because they fought valiantly. Chatoyer and Duvalier and all those other unsung heroes that we don't know, they fought valiantly, heroically, gave their lives to protect this country. They were the ones who were banished. They were the ones who were placed in Baliso. They were the ones who were starved to death. And then the governor said that one of the reasons why they died is because they never had such good food in their lives. They were the ones who were sent up to Rotan. They were the ones who, because of the intrinsic force and value of their demand for life, made a living on Rotan, went to Belize, went to Guatemala, went to Honduras, went to Nicaragua, and survived. They were the ones who went on later to the United States and now have major settlements in New York and Texas and California. And to hear a prime minister, this is why I wrote a column the other day, and some people didn't understand the point I was making. This is why I wrote a column the other day and say that Gonzalez couldn't care less about St. Vincent and the Grenadines because this land is not his home. He's just passing through. And as Eric Williams said, he's prepared to suck St. Vincent dry like an orange. And his primary and only concern is to make sure that he does not slip and fall on the peel, that he drops after sucking this country dry. How could you say? I mean, you see, part of it is that here's a man who thinks he's a god. He doesn't think, he's not reflective. He does not think he would have made a mistake in the presence of Garifuna brothers. And part of the problem is that our Garifuna brothers and sisters don't know. I heard a good brother stood up in the conference and said, look, we trust you. Garifuna brothers and sisters hugging and embracing this man who so affronted our ancestors, who so affronted our brothers and sisters, who insulted and embarrassed them because of some politics. And it is good that people like you could bring that tape back and play it and play it. And you must play it 1,000 times. You must play it until our Garifuna brothers and sisters go back to their respective homes. And you must continue to play it because it represents a disregard, a disrespect for our people. How could you tell me that where you go around talking about reparations and you go around talking about you are railing against colonialism and imperialism, you're going to say the indigenous people of this country don't have a right to recall, don't have a right to come here? And in fact, he could have well criticized Mr. Eustace's plan, because Mr. Eustace's honorary citizenship plan had to do, he saw it purely in economic terms, that there are 400,000 Garifuna brothers and sisters and they may come. And even if 18,000 come, I remember him saying, that could have a spill-off. And true, that could have a spill-off. But why see it only in economic terms? In the first place, if we have 400, 500,000 Garifuna people living in Honduras, Nicaragua, Belize, Guatemala, and then many more in the United States, most of them, we can be sure, are probably living a very low economic level. So all of them are not going to come. In fact, they have to buy a ticket to come, because if they get honorary citizenship, they don't just time travel and land here. They have to buy a ticket to come. So if you have them, it is like the middle class of our Garifuna brothers and sisters who would make the pilgrimage, as some of those brothers and sisters did on the weekend. And those are the ones who we want to come. And that is why Israel, for example, has an open arm policy and says Jews from any place in the world can come to Israel and get automatic citizenship. One, they understand what it means, the cultural heritage. And two, they know that Jewish people around the world may be able to bring benefit, may be able to add the plus and add value to their country. And the same way in which there are many, many Garifuna brothers and sisters who are well trained. Many of them are teachers, many of them are scientists, many of them are lawyers, many of them are agriculturalists. They can contribute in some ways. But what did the Prime Minister do?
he propagandized them and tried to alienate, tried to put a division between our Garifuna brothers and sisters who are living in diaspora against Garifuna brothers and sisters who are living here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who are living here in Urumi. And that is really painful. And you know what is even more painful thing? Is that in that conference on Saturday, you had people who probably didn't even remember what the Prime Minister said, who were defending him and trying to shout down those of us who are saying, yes, you should apologize. Because you see, I think the sad thing about a lot of discourse here in St. Vincent is that a lot of people see things only in partisan ways. So for them, if you ask the Prime Minister to apologize, they take it as though you are opposed to him, or you think that he has never done any good thing, any good at all in his life. And that's not, the question is demanding that he pause, demanding that he says, look, in the heat of the moment, because this could have been his rationale. In the heat of the moment, what I did and said, I should not have done. I should not have said. Maybe I framed it incorrectly. And to those persons whom I offend, I apologize for that. But not even that. He couldn't step back. And as he got some energy from some silly people in the room who were trying to shout down those who were calling for an apology, he went back to the podium and doubled down on his nonsense by starting talking politics. Oh, I did this for Garifuna and I did that for Garifuna. But Garifuna could do for themselves. Garifuna have always done for themselves. And so when I listen to these kind of things, and I'm glad, like I said, I'm really glad that you brought this back. And there's so many other things to talk about, but I am glad you bring it back, and I'm glad I got a chance to speak to it, because had you not raised it, I probably would have gone in another direction. But thank you so much for doing that. And look, our people need to learn. Our people need to learn. And I really hope we learn, and I hope we learn fast.
When you give them honorary citizenship, our Garifuna brothers and sisters, they're coming out from Belize, from Nicaragua, from Honduras, from Guatemala. They're coming out from those countries for jobs in St. Vincent. They're coming for your houses. I want to know what this involves.
The number one morning show in the SVG.
Morning.
OMG in the morning.
Come on now.
Shake up, man, this man, that man corrupt, that's all she say. Delilah is watching him. She have a pretty face, she all about the fame and what she can gain. Corrupt, that's all she say. Delilah is watching him. She have a pretty face, she all about the fame and what she can gain. Why me have to love her? Why me have to trust her? Me shoulda just her. And girl, you never want me. You're all about the money. You're coming with it. You shouldn't even call my phone, even though I'm home alone. Girl, on your own zone. Can't treat me with your all alone. You shake up and know I love you.
Cool 1069.
All right, Kong. So we're back inside. We've got Luke Brown inside with us. Let me say good morning to him. You didn't headphone, Shady. I want to say headphone for Luke Brown there. We got to switch to him in a bit, but I know you want to say a little bit about National Heroes Day tomorrow. So you can go right ahead.
You're talking to me?
Yes. I'm talking to you. I'm talking before we bring in Luke Brown.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. Certainly, we have National Heroes Day tomorrow, and that's a significant day on our calendar. It is expected that PM Gonzalez may name some other heroes. Last year, he said by this time this year he would do that. I am really hoping that George McIntosh would be named a hero. I am hoping that Ebenezer Theodore Joshua would be named a hero. I am hoping that Elma Francois would be named a heroine of our struggles, because significantly, Elma Francois of Vincentian Woman of Overland, like Chronicle, is a hero, a heroine, a national figure of stature in Trinidad and Tobago, where she spent many of her years, but she's not even known in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that is the problem, because we don't have serious history teaching here. So I'm hoping that she would be named. I am hoping that Sheriff Lewis would be named, Samuel Sheriff Lewis, who, had it not been for him, we probably wouldn't have had a Jomo Thomas or Luke Brown or Bing Joseph doing what we are doing now, because Sheriff Lewis stood up against colonial authority, stood up against colonial power, stormed the National Assembly because they were intending to raise taxes on matches and kerosene. What a mix that exploded on them back on October 21st, 1935. But out of that effort by ordinary people, Bottom and some of those other brothers and sisters, hundreds of brothers and sisters who came out in righteous indignation and showed the British colonialists that enough was enough, and we're not going to stand that kind of exploitation and oppression. Out of that, we got trade unionism, organized trade unions. We had people like George McIntosh emerging and representing forcefully. By 1951, we had universal adult suffrage, which resulted in people like me and you getting a chance to vote for the first time, because up until then it was only the propertied class, the white or upper and middle class that had a chance to vote. Then, so we had the emergence of the People's Political Party, and then later the St. Vincent Labour Party, which was really a right-wing moneyed party that came in to foil the efforts of Joshua, who argued that, look, black people, African people, plantation workers, you are somebody. The Labour Party was anti that. They were a party of the ruling class. So, and then all of that led to independence in 1979. But what and who shouldn't be a national hero is Robert Milton Cato. Robert Milton Cato should not be, because with the possible exception of the current administration, there has been no government in the history of St. Vincent that has been oppressive, has been exploitative, has been anti-democratic rule, anti-mass participation than Robert Milton Cato. And I know that Ralph Gonsalves want to hoist Robert Milton Cato and the nation as a national hero. It would be a travesty for that to happen, because Cato, it was Cato he was one of the most brutal. He was the one who let loose his police on progressive persons, who called people who were fighting for independence nincompoops. And that was a broad array of people in the National Independence Committee. He had such disdain for people, much as this Prime Minister has disdain for ordinary people and for criticism. He brutalized people, sent police to search and dig up people's yards for looking for guns, seizing progressive literature. And this is the man that Ralph Gonsalves wants to hoist on our nation as a national hero. But I want to join Luke as well and his father, because they have been really, really instrumental in pushing for J.P. Eustace to be a national hero of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. J.P. Eustace in the 20s, when the colonial authorities could care less about ordinary people. J.P. Eustace formed first the intermediate school, which we know as, back in my time, as the TV school. He went on to form the Emmanuel High School. He had one in Kingstown. He had right where OT has his place there, right across from Park. That's where the school was. In fact, he also had it up at where the Ministry of Legal Affairs used to be. I remember we used to go there and play tennis and so on. And he had one in Maripor. This is a man who made an outstanding contribution for the upliftment of our people, to ensure that ordinary people get an education. These are the kind of people should be heroes. And certainly, I am hoping tomorrow that some of that is done. And I really hope, I am hoping beyond hope, that he does not put this travesty, hoist this travesty on the nation to announce Robert Milton Cato. But he may well do that, because I remember I was named as a member of the National Heroes Committee, I think back in 2007, 2008. And when there was discussion on these kinds of issues, where I think Dr. Fraser had spoken the importance of Macintosh, and Dr. Kenneth John had spoke about the importance of Ebenezer Theodore Joshua, and Prime Minister Gonzalez muscled his way into the conversation to celebrate Robert Milton Cato and to hoist him. And I, out of principle, I resigned from that Heroes Committee, because I thought, how could the person who may eventually name somebody into a hero come into the trenches to argue and to fight and to push one and not the other? So hopefully we would have no heroes. Certainly, I am totally and completely opposed to Robert Milton Cato as a hero in St. Vincent and Grenadines. In fact, he's an anti-hero. He shouldn't be so named.
All right, Luke, good morning to you. Welcome inside.
Hi, good morning, Bing, and it's good to be here in studio again. I think it's the first time that I'm in studio with you since my return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to Vincentians and to essentially enjoy the company of my comrade and counsel, Jomo Thomas. I'm happy that in all his talk about national heroes, we seem to have some common ground. I mean, there are also some clear points of divergence, and I suppose that in the fullness of time there will be the opportunity to fully explore those points. He sets his marker first, his historical marker. Well, there was a discussion about Garifuna before. Mm-hmm. But in the contemporary sense, in the 20th century, he sets his marker down in the 1935 or 1930s riots, because he mentions two persons in connection with those riots as possible contenders for hero. He didn't really, for national hero, he didn't really join them at the hip as such. But the work of George McIntosh cannot be divorced from the work of Sheriff Lewis. Mm-hmm. In fact, people might see George McIntosh as the leading protagonist in those riots, those disturbances, which represented a watershed moment in the political development, not only of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but also throughout the Caribbean. And it is interesting that, it was in fact a protest which was organized around the fact that there was an attempt to increase the price of matches. It is simply indicating that in those days, the conditions were ripe for that type of activity. The socioeconomic conditions in St. Vincent and the Grenadines were hard, and it was necessary for a strong statement to be made. Now, in terms of the common ground that I share with Jomo, that has definitely to do with Dr. J.P. Eustace and his stature and contribution to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the way in which this really qualifies him.
But before you get to Dr. Eustace, let's hear your thoughts on Milton Cato.
Well, I think that Milton Cato, contrary to the very strong terms in which Mr. Thomas has characterized it, made his contribution to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I mean, we could look at it, for instance, from an economic standpoint. And when you consider the industrial development that took place under his watch in those early days, I don't think that we could scoff at it. I think that what he did was essentially to put opportunities in the hands of a broad cross section of Vincentians. Mind you, I'm not arguing.
Are you prepared to have him as national hero?
I'm not discussing him in the context of a national hero. Okay. In fact, I'm talking about his political contribution to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And if we are talking about national heroes and national heroism, the truth is, I am arguing for Dr. J.P. Eustace. I'm not arguing for any other person, including not for those persons that Jomo listed, not for any person on any other list, because when I really drill down, and I've done some writing on this, I've done it over the course of a number of years. There was an article published in the newspapers recently in which I more or less made the case for Dr. J.P. Eustace against the criteria, the legal requirements as set down in the act. I think he is the person who most supremely fits the bill.
Okay, Council, you want to get you're trying to get back in just now.
Yeah, I was trying to get into simple that I am not saying Cato made no contribution. Every leader makes a contribution. I'm talking about how do we hoist them and put them in the pantheon of national heroism. That is my point.
Well, the truth is, the way in which it becomes relevant to an extent is because one of the a criterion in relation to national hero is the fact that, well, one of the three limbs, the three substantive limbs, and one of them has to do with an individual contributing to the improvement of the economic, social, and political conditions of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And so political leaders, by definition, and by employment, I suppose, contribute, hopefully, to the improvement of the social, economic, and political conditions. Now, you have to ask yourself then, is the contribution that any individual made, that was made by any individual, exceptional? Does it get them to the point of national heroism or heroic stature? Or is it something that we will expect during the course of their employment? You see, the thing that I think is really rare and special, one of the things really, because there are many things about J.P. Eustace, is that he did not execute his work in the course of his job. It was not a part of his employment. He undertook on his own accord and largely with his own resources to make a definitive contribution to education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And, when we talk about, and there are other areas as well, we focus very often when we're talking about J.P. Eustace and what he did in terms of education, but he was also a practitioner in the field of healthcare as an eye specialist. And in that time, when he functioned, he was the first native eye specialist, and he helped literally to open many eyes. We could possibly even consider what he did for religious liberty in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because he was a leading figure in the Christian Brethren movement, and he built churches in that capacity. But I think that the education contribution is fundamental because, as I said in the article which was published in newspapers this weekend, quoting John F. Kennedy, one of the more popular presidents of the United States of America, he said that the progress of a nation can be no swifter than its progress in education. We know about the fact that you have to, education is the best way to reduce poverty. Education is the best way to reduce crime. We come to Nelson Mandela, who talks about education being the most powerful weapon by which we could change the world. And the state of affairs in education in 1926, when J.P. Eustace opened as a 20-year-old, barely out of his teenage years, opened a school now which is almost 100 years old. In 1926, when he opened that school, the only two other existing secondary schools were the boys' grammar school and the girls' high school. They were very elitist. He was operating in a colonial setting. He operated against a hostile and harsh policy. He had to take all sorts of creative steps in order to circumvent the prevailing policy, so he could essentially open the floodgates of education to tooth bagay, as some people to say, to all man jack, to women, to boys and girls from every color, class, creed, and race. That is a substantial contribution. And I want to make this other significant fact in relation to this connection. After the high school was opened in 1911, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in all its various formulations and permutations, did not open another secondary school in this country for 60 years. It's only in 1971, after 1911, that the government opened another secondary school. So whereas the government didn't open a secondary school in 60 years, in that same period, J.P. Eustace opened 3 secondary schools. The government opened none, he opened 3. At one point, he had more schools operating in St. Vincent and the Grenadines than the government.
I want to hear, Jomo, your response to J.P. Eustace being put up. Let's say tomorrow morning, Dr. Gonsalve announced J.P. Eustace as a single national hero, to go along with Joseph Chartier. What would your take be?
Well, I would hope that he would not sidestep McIntosh and Joshua and just hoist JP Eustace.
But will you accept it? Would you accept it?
Well, that's what I'm going to say. Even if he were to do that, I would be satisfied. I think, and again, I want to reiterate that Luke Brown, and well, before him, his dad, and I think what is the guy is Vin Abbott.
Vinji Samuel wrote a book.
Put a book on that.
Mm-hmm.
JP Eustace is a phenomenal figure. I mean, he had all of his class biases and so on because I happen to be old enough to remember him. But yet, in the broad sweep of things, you have to give it to him as somebody who, because remember back in those days, Bing, if you didn't get in that 40% or 20% back then that went to grammar school or high school, is either Timmy school or green, what we used to call green school, that you could have gone. Later on, St. Martin's came on and so on and so forth. But his contribution is phenomenal.
It looks as if we have a consensus candidate, and it's not easy to have a consensus with Jomo Thomas sometimes. But I am happy that we could enjoy it on Dr. JP Eustace, and I think that if we're talking about national acceptability, I mean, let's be frank. If we are going to and look at the element of a political figure, I always want us to be careful about sending the impression, I'm a politician and all and so on, but we have to be careful about sending the impression that you have to be a political figure to become a national hero. Absolutely. And so I think that we have a powerful opportunity to say, look, aspire to whatever you want to aspire. Be what you want to be. Make a definitive contribution to our development in various areas. It doesn't have to be in the theater of government, and you could be rewarded with the highest office in the land, in the sense of national hero, the order of national hero.
Well, look, I don't think that we should do it because we want to be rewarded. I think we should do it because it's a good thing to do. And however history judges us, so be it.
Precisely. I mean, we're on the same mind about that. I think because when JP Eustace was established in school, starting as a 20-year-old, he certainly wasn't thinking down the road that we would be discussing him in this way here right now. He just saw that as his opportunity to contribute to development of society, to really put it even more simply, to help people who would have been shut out back in those days. And it's probably not even easy for us to appreciate it right now. People used to think that after secondary school, all you needed to do to gain a solid education was to listen to the radio. The ambition of persons was bottled up in the idea that, look, after you leave primary school, you could perhaps become a road gang leader or a timekeeper in a gang. That was the state of ambition. It wasn't a discussion in general households that, look, you could go and you could get a secondary school education, and then you could move on, and then you could have a career in a profession or anything of the sort. And if people weren't vigilant, and if there wasn't that opportunity, St. Vincent would have been a poorer place. Keep in mind that saying about the progress of a nation can be no swifter than its progress in education. And JP Eustace fast-tracked our progress in education to a phenomenal degree.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a break. Kungs, I want you to wrap it up here for us, please, as we continue with Luke as you go. Okay?
All I want is good to be on with Luke. All I want to say is that this morning is decision day. So I guess we'll be talking about this. Well, we wouldn't get a chance to talk about this tomorrow.
On Wednesday.
But we would definitely get a chance. But as the Prime Minister used to say, I was fond of saying, put your pot in the fire.
Do you expect that your clients will ask you to appeal should you lose the case today?
If we were to lose, we would have to read the judgment and see what the court says. But we're not going to lose. Our clients are not going to lose.
you probably...
I'll tell you this: on the law of abandonment, on the law of abandonment alone, I know that the government is out at Westfield. Deep West.
Look, what's your take on this and Jomo's?
Well, I mean,
position?
first of all, Jomo being so confident, I have to say that it seems as if he has a broad definition of what is victory. Because I suppose if there is a judgment adverse on a particular point, he might say, well, at least we ventilated this matter.
No ventilation. I'm talking about resounding success.
Well, as I say, that will be determined after judgment is delivered, and I'm sure that we'd have the opportunity to explore that.
All right.
And what time you expecting it to be handed down?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock this morning. Okay.
Again.
All right, thank you. Catch you on Wednesday morning. Thank you. Let's take a quick break. We come right back with Luke Brown, who's inside with us as we discuss national heroes right here on OMG in the morning. Your Monday morning edition. Let's do this and come right back.
Dining room table or any furniture item now and save big. Plus, shop our large selection of appliances, televisions, and electronics for the biggest deals. No cash.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
Like fixtures, faucets, power tools, lawn and garden items, locks, and all Orange Dot items. When you buy any three, the fourth item is on us. But wait, get free thin set with every $250 tile purchase. Shop at Ace Hardware in Kingstown, Ace 2 in Arnesville, or Ace 3 in Pembroke, and join in on the Ace March Mania Freeness. Don't forget to shop online at www.careersbuilding.vc. Careers Hazel's terms and conditions apply. Offer ends March 31st.
The Patriot Company Limited. With services like terrazzo construction, terrazzo restoration, terrazzo maintenance, concrete grinding, pressure washing, janitorial services, carpet cleaning, home and office cleaning. We offer services at affordable prices. Call us for all your janitorial services and terrazzo services. It's the Patriot Company Limited, Green Hill, P.O. Box 2046, Kingstown, VC 0100. Or you can contact us at 457-6650 or 457-2057 or email the Patriot Company Limited at gmail.com or ncjackson4753 at gmail.com. The Patriot Company Limited, service at its best.
No matter where we come from, the journey begins the same for all.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
.svcooperative.bank.com.
So fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So fast pay, so fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're
Always
covered?
wanted a motorcycle, but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see cots of motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Sheena, this short, chubby little guy, you know. I purchased 2 bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. This blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon. This is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
1821 or email us at metrosint@vincisurf.com.
There's Smooth.
And then there's Guinness Smooth.
It's a brand new cool.
Incredibly smooth.
Perfectly balanced.
For a smooth and refreshing taste.
So how smooth? Well smooth. Guinness Smooth.
For a smooth and refreshing taste. New Guinness Smooth. Must be 18 years or older. Drink responsibly. Socialize responsibly.
Hola, amigos! The Awesome Family Circus comes to SVG. Bring the whole family to the Victoria Park on the Easter weekend for 4 spectacular shows on Sunday, April 8th at 6 p.m. Then on Sunday, April 9th, also at 6 p.m. And on Monday, April 10th, get ready for 2 massive shows. Starting time 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. featuring the world's famous circus performers. Come and enjoy great family entertainment with clowns, magicians, acrobats, and much, much more. It's the Awesome Family Circus, sponsored by
respond to any threat in real time. So join the Sheriff PSS family today and protect what matters the most. Call us at 456-284.
To install that you can do it yourself. Find the District Stairs on Instagram, Facebook, or districtstairs.com or WhatsApp 289-2007-649. At District Stairs, you'll find vinyl flooring that's suitable for every room in the home.
1069.
I've been patient and I've been waiting. Call me stubborn, but I can get over it. You left and never say goodbye. Those tears I cried, no, I can get over it.
So don't you ever let me down again, 'cause I'm depending on you, so you better come through this time. Please hear my cry, and if I ever let you down, my friend, it was a misunderstanding. So if I took it for granted, don't I promise from today I go jump like I never jump, wave like I never wave, wine like I never wine before, just to show you I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Need you back in my life. Look at people by the truck, emotions running high. We end up in the sky, just running down we high. Can't you tell that we sorry, and we need you back in real life. Come to me, come on to me, come on to me. It's on no place like you.
1069.
I see you bounce into that one. You like that? You like
good vibes.
You like that? You like that? You like that? You like that? Do you expect? I mean, we speculating here that the Prime Minister will name a national hero tomorrow.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to expect. I think that there has been a great discussion about it. I'm not sure if the discussion, as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, has come to the point where he is ready to make an announcement. And like I say, that's because of several factors. I think it may have to do with the fact that we might be looking to explore too many contenders at once. I mean, we had a practice whereby we just elevated Joseph Chatelier to national heroism. I think it was in 2002. And I mean, I think there was a good national consensus around that. I think that there is national consensus, as we discussed in the earlier segment, around Dr. J.P. Eustace for all that he has done. I mean, we could go with this consensus candidate, and then we could subject the other names which may come up from time to time to ongoing rigorous interrogation. Maybe some factors need to be taken into consideration, as I say, when you have political figures of recent vintage or recent memory. At least that might have some element of divisiveness in it. However, I mean, you just need to weigh the case and, like a judge in any situation, make a decision. And I think that this is
are we procrastinating too much? That's what you're saying?
I believe so, in relation, because I don't see that there should be anything that would prevent us from naming, say, Dr. J.P. Eustace as a national hero.
Okay, present your point some more as to why Dr. Eustace.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to make the point that J.P. Eustace was responsible for the establishment and the operation of 3 secondary schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 3 major secondary schools in this country, starting, as I mentioned, in 1926 at the height of colonialism. You know, there's an element of the criteria which talks about being a pioneer. If ever there was a pioneer among anybody who is being discussed as a possible national hero, it was J.P. Eustace. Just out of his teenage years, in 1926, at the height of colonialism, when there were only 2 other secondary schools, both government run, he decided he was going to take a leap of faith, literally, and set up the intermediate high school. It was called intermediate school then. Because that in itself has a history to it, because he didn't want to call it a high school to offend the powers that be. So he was circumventing their policy against the establishment of any further high school. So he named it intermediate school, but nonetheless continued to deliver a high quality education. Incidentally, E.T. Joshua, who we hear mentioned from time to time as a possible national hero, was a beneficiary of the intermediate school. We have our recent Alston Beckett Cyrus, who recently got an honorary doctorate from the University of the West Indies. He was a student of the intermediate school. Earl Kirby, who is renowned in Vincentian history, he started out at the intermediate school. This school really provided a foundation for persons who wanted to achieve some distinction in life and had the ability to do it, but who were otherwise held back by their circumstances of birth and other factors, because of the fact that they were not children of Kingston merchants, children of the planter class, children of basically the individuals who were top-ranking officials in the public service. So he started that in 1926 as a young man, and he struggled to keep his school idea alive. I remember, especially because I've through research, that in 1935 or thereabouts, or in the 1930s period, there was the Great Depression, and he wanted to keep his school open. He had to opt at that time to take up a job somewhere else, and in particular as a teacher as a mathematics master at grammar school, just to supplement his income so that he could continue to operate his school. He did that for an extended period of time, and then he went abroad. He pursued studies overseas in the late 1930s, early 1940s. Wow. That's when he became an eye specialist. He went to the United States of America. He traveled during the course of the Second World War. He came back with his qualifications. He established his eye clinic, and then he began offering very important services to Vincentians in that capacity. He recognized in 1952 Also in 1926, he set up this first school. And by the way, we're talking about his secondary schools, but he also established 2 primary schools as well. He established a primary school at Sandy Bay. He established a primary school in Simon New Prospect. In every decade from 1926 to the 1960s, JP Eustace established either a primary school or a secondary school. So now in 1952, he started the Emmanuel High School, Kingston. There was a discussion about the locations of the Emmanuel High School, Kingston. Its first location, actually, which I think is an interesting historical fact, was at the site of the current Grenadine House.
Grenadine's house.
So it was there for a while. It very quickly became the largest secondary school in the country. So he had the most secondary schools.
More than grammar school and girls' high school.
More than grammar school and girls' high school. So he had more secondary schools than the government, and he had the largest secondary school as well in the country. This is really quite an extraordinary achievement.
Do we know what was driving Dr. Eustace during these times?
Well, he was just passionate about education.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it is possible for us to explain or rationalize his passion, but he was passionate about it. He knew the importance of giving people an opportunity for education, and he just devoted his life to it. The number of children who would have been shut out, literally shut out of a secondary school door, if it were not for Dr. Eustace, is mind-boggling.
And where was he being financed? How was he financing these institutions?
Well, he subsidized the schools largely from his own resources, and the schools also had modest school fees, which were paid by the students. So between these two sources, he more or less was able to keep these schools going. And after there were setbacks. It wasn't a straight march. It wasn't an onward march from point A to point B without obstacles or setbacks, because there was the time when the school was operating right beside the OC in the OT car park in that area there in 1966, and the school was destroyed by fire completely. And instead of deciding, throwing his hands in the air and forgetting about education, he just basically dusted himself off and came again. He took the school to different places. There was a period of relocation, frequent relocation, but he stuck to it and kept delivering that quality service. And he wasn't content to just do this in Kingstown. He had the 2 schools in Kingstown, the intermediate school, which, by the way, when he went abroad to study, he had placed the intermediate school in the hands of Bertram Tinney Richards, who basically became well known to be associated with that school.
Right.
So then he started the Emmanuel High School, Kingston. He went on and established the Emmanuel High School in Mesopotamia in 1963. Incidentally, that school is going to be celebrating its 60th anniversary this May.
Okay.
So he has a school which is almost 100 years old, a secondary school, a school which just celebrated its 70th anniversary, and a school which is going to be 60 years old shortly. And, this school in Mesopotamia, he actually gave up his house. He destroyed his house. He tore down his house to provide a spot for the school to be built, on which the school should be built. This is the nature of his sacrifice. It was his life work. And as a result of it, we have thousands of Vincentians who pass through the schools. I'm trying to come up with an estimate of how many children must have been educated as a result.
What are the criteria of being named the National Hero?
Well, the Order of National Heroes Act lists the criteria. This is Act number 7 of 2002. Some of the things are just preliminary. First of all, you have to be born in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Secondly, you have to be dead, so you must have died. And then there are the 3 substantive limbs. I call them the 3 substantive limbs. Given outstanding service to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and his contribution altered positively the course of the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in the article which was published in the newspapers on Friday, I emphasize this point, that his contribution altered positively the course of history. He saved people from frustration. He saved people from depression. He saved us from having underdevelopment, from a condition of underdevelopment, a condition of crime. And these are important things which contributed to a positive alteration of the course of history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that's one limb. The other thing, given service to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which has been exemplified by visionary and pioneering leadership, extraordinary achievement, and the attainment of the highest excellence, which has redounded to the honor of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So visionary and pioneering leadership, I think Dr. Eustace is really, if you consider the candidates according to this criteria, I don't think you could find anything more visionary and pioneering than a man introduced in the first non-government secondary school when he was 20 years old. And in the height of colonialism, and persisting with the educational project for well over 60 years, while adding other dimensions to his work in the country. He is the very definition of visionary and pioneer. And in terms of extraordinary achievement, Dr. Eustace by himself was an extraordinary man. I haven't even in the course of the discussion spoken about his personal characteristics, because this was a man who was fluent in 6 languages. This was a man who has a superlative record of academic achievement. This was a man who had great athletic prowess as well, and he could have become a fast bowler for the West Indies, except that he didn't want to damage a batsman. In fact, the story is told that he made a premature retirement from cricket after hurting one of his colleagues at school during a match. He also was able apparently he excelled at the high jump, and there's some stories in folklore about what he did with the high jump. So he was excellent. He demonstrated excellence in his career in school. He demonstrated excellence as an individual throughout. He could teach all the subjects on the curriculum at his schools and so on. And that is where he really showed the quality of human being that he was. And, just his commitment to using his skills to the advantage of less fortunate persons and people in general. The other thing is, the other limb of the criteria is through his heroic exploits and sacrifice, contributed to the improvement of the economic, social, and political conditions of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And unmistakably, he did all of that through heroic exploits and sacrifice. I mean, he even sacrificed his standing in society, his socioeconomic status, because he was, if we are to be frank and straightforward, somebody who was born into a relatively comfortable position. He was born into affluence,
upper class.
In fact, his mother was a French heiress. His father was a good colonial civil servant. He himself joined the colonial civil service to begin with as his first job, before he resigned from that job to get involved in education. And and there was the element of religious liberty as well. That back in those days, there were some dominant denominations within the ambit of Christianity, and then some other sections were described as wayside religions, and that effectively give stature and acceptability to what would have otherwise been described as a wayside religion. Because if you have somebody of this quality, being associated with the Brethren movement that built the gospel halls and chapels and so on, people felt more comfortable gravitating to this type of congregation. So he essentially decolonized the church, decolonized the thinking of the church as well. And that is a fundamental contribution to be flagged. And I'm hoping before the end of this month, whatever happens tomorrow, I'm hoping before the end of this month, maybe on the 28th of March, to actually have a public lecture about JP Eustace. In the lead up to that date, I will publish some more articles in the newspaper looking at different aspects of him, so we could have as a nation, a great sense and appreciation for the work that this man really did for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I think I want to put something you said into perspective here. For those of you who are 20 years old and listening, or those of you who are beyond 20 and listening, think about what you were doing at 20 years of age to open the secondary school. I think that alone is a tremendous feat.
Precisely, that is a tremendous achievement, and it basically set the stage for the work of his life. But yes, at 20 years old, we are not really especially concerned about the cares of the world. Then we are spending time, enjoying life, so to speak, spending time with friends, spending time, maybe liming a bit more than maybe necessary. Yes. But that's the state of our life. And for you to have somebody who is concerned about the plight and conditions, and not only concerned, but who took that concern to the next logical level of doing something about it, is really something that we should be speaking about.
We're gonna stick a pin for a bit. We're now gonna bring Mr. Weeks, the most loved man in the world. Let's bring him now at this point. point. We're gonna interact with you while he's on. I'm sure he's gonna have something to say about what you've said, or even some questions and more. Let's bring him, Shady. Let's bring him in now. It's now time for the most loved man on the radio. Let's go, Shady.
Time to connect with the most loved man on radio. Sir Lancelot is in the building.
While we're waiting, it's now time for Mr. Weeks. Let's see, we got him on the line. Good morning to you, Mr. Weeks.
Hey, Ben, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am extremely good.
Nice. We've got Luke Brown inside with us as well this morning.
Yes, I know that. Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Hi, good Mr. Weeks. Good morning. It's good to be in the company of the most loved man on radio. I thought that was Bing for a time. but
I'm the bad man of radio. He's the most loved man of radio.
So, but people might love badness, you know.
Yeah, that's true. They do actually.
But I know that they surely love Mr. Weeks for good reason.
Yes. So Lancelot.
Look, you smart, you know. Don't
So, Mr. Weeks, you heard the discussion this morning. What do you have to say?
I'm getting there, Ben. So can you please allow me to say
Sure.
good morning to Shady? Good morning, Shady.
Mr. Weeks.
And greetings to all of your listeners. And before I forget, I want to say Happy Heroes Day to all Vincentians everywhere. Look, being one time I was driving up, well, not me driving, but I was in a vehicle coming up new roads, and we suffered a puncture, pull aside the road, and a young man just pulled up in front of us, and he came and he went into the back of the Jeep. He took out the jack and before you're done, our problem was solved. I believe he doesn't even remember that.
That was you, Luke? You remember that?
just doing a good turn as a matter of routine.
I don't think he at the time he even knew who he was helping.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the
Thank you for that story.
statue of a man you have with you this morning, Ben. And I want to say special good morning to Bernadette Phillips. Because this morning I may do something that she suggests I should not do. And in doing that, I want to start with a comparison thing. But before, let me give another story. You see, when I was a student, and maybe I'm out in this or maybe not, I used to wonder how in answering a question, somebody would write 5, 6 full pages, and then someone else may write 1.5 page. And the person with the 1.5 page got a better mark than the person who wrote 5, 6 pages. And when I did some teaching on this side, I understood why. And we have seen the evidence here this morning again. We have seen the evidence of a super intellectual. I am very confident that Luke has no flashcard in front of him in his presentation this morning, as against some other individuals. And you listen to the presentation, you don't have it laced with adjectives and adverbs. And he got the message across. I sat in the past and listened to the way some people attempted to treat Luke when he was Minister of Health. And as I live, I understand why. I want to say up front that if I was to put myself ahead of everything, I will not support Mr. J.P. Eustace, Dr. J.P. Eustace, for national hero. If I was to put myself ahead of everything else, but I can't do that. Not with the kind of presentation made by Luke Bong this morning, and he has made in the past. I was a patient of Dr. J.P. Eustace in my very early life. And I'm sure, I am confident that based on the science that he had in his position at that time, he thought he was doing me a good. He was mixing up with length. He was treating me for short-sightedness, or he treated me for short-sightedness, when my condition was something called pigmentaria, retinitis pigmentaria. And I'm sure that has had an effect on my condition up to today. But I can't put that ahead of all the things that Luke Bong mentioned this morning. And they say Dr. J.P. Eustace is not deserving of being named our second national hero. I can't do that. I can't one day, because I did not, I was fighting to keep one of my clients in what I perceive to be the best schools in town, and used that as an opportunity to describe Emmanuel High School, whether the one in Kingston or the one in Mariocco. Describe it as a dump. How can you do that? And then you come back this morning and join in with Luke to support J.P. Eustace for national hero? This is the kind of nonsense we have on radio from time to time. Persons come in here every day, every week, throwing a tantrum, and we heal it up.
You need to say who you're speaking about, Mr. Weeks.
I'm talking about Jomo Thomas, and I'm comparing the two presentations here today. Because Jomo Thomas went back in history, and he talked about the Garifuna and the fight against colonialism. And then he mentioned some of the issues that help us and continue to help us today in removing ourselves from colonialism. And a number of them, who implemented them? Milton Cato, as Prime Minister of this country. But you argue that he's the worst man on earth. That's what we feast our nation on a daily basis. And it is so refreshing to hear Luke Bong this morning making the kind of intellectual presentation that he did. And giving us an example that those who are teaching communication skills should use. Give their students these two presentations and ask them to analyze them critically. If you're a man who portrays critically thinking skills, critical analysis, distilling what are the important facts in the situation and working with them as a man against a man who throws in every damn thing and then expect people to follow it. That's what we had this morning. An excellent presentation, a demonstration that St. Vincent is no damn intellectual wasteland. That's what Luke did this morning, demonstrating that St. Vincent is no damn intellectual wasteland. I want to congratulate Luke for the presentation that he made, and I support his endeavor wholeheartedly. I hope the time will come soon when what Luke is fighting for will be made a reality.
Mr. Weeks, I just wanna add something into what you're saying there. However you feel, and that's how you feel about Councillor Thomas' contribution to the program, but Councillor Thomas make a significant contribution to this program every morning, right? So I just want to put that in there as well, too, as I would say about you to anyone who criticize what you do as well, too. All right. I wanna say here.
Ben, before you say that, don't forget it, please. So, can I respond to that?
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give you a chance to respond.
Ben, I say to my friends all the time, I come here and I criticize people. I criticize Ralph Gonzalez. I criticize Dr. Friday. I criticize civil servants, and I praise them when I think they deserve praise. You, it's your right to do. You can praise Jomo Thomas. That's your right. And it's your responsibility.
That's not praising. That's not praising, though, Mr. Weeks.
What it was?
It is saying that he makes a contribution. You may not appreciate his style, or you may not appreciate his context, or you may do fact checking and all of that, but he do make a contribution.
But I didn't say anything otherwise, Bing. I've been saying that all morning.
Oh, you see why he goes love bad. You see why.
That's what I've been saying all morning, that he made a contribution. But if you attempting to prevent me from criticizing,
I am not. I allowed you, but I also had to put that in there to Mr. Weeks.
If that is your goal, Bing, I say to everybody, criticize me if you want. I take note of your criticism.
What's the criticism about you?
Criticize me. But that doesn't mean that doesn't stop me from criticizing others.
It's your right.
But I don't think, Bing, what I was doing this morning was criticism. I think I am doing critical analysis.
Okay. Look, do you want to respond to?
Well, I'd just like to thank Mr. Weeks for his kind comments and essentially encouragement, because I think that, it is motivating. It has a motivating effect when there could be appreciation for the work that you're doing and for your advocacy and agreement. And I certainly look forward to and hope that the time will come. I hope it will come tomorrow. I hope it will come as soon as possible, when Dr. J.P. Eustace could be named as the second national hero of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the truth is, I'm committed to continue with the public advocacy around this issue and other issues which I think are pertinent to the Vincentian reality, pertinent to our national development, pertinent to how we might be able to move forward and seize the future. I think I think about all the time subjects of public interest, with a view to having ideas that could show that St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as you have said and as you have very pointedly said, is not an intellectual wasteland. We have great gifts and talents that have to be harnessed. We need to have a framework that allows that to be harnessed. And J.P. Eustace provided that framework. He prevented persons who had talent from simply lying waste, on our landscape, and giving them that opportunity. And it's as a result of what he did that I am inspired to do a lot of what I do. For instance, you see me organizing an activity like Luke's Kids Club.
Well, I don't want you to get into that just as yet. Well, I wanna zero in, but we gotta do a station ID at the top. Mr. Weeks, just stick around for me, please. Let's do a station ID and come right back, and we continue with you. Okay? It's 9 o'clock in SVG. Let's do this. Shady, there we go.
The number one morning show in the SVG.
Morning.
OMG in the morning.
Come on now.
I got
Me just like, bring it to me on the low key. Girl, I love me no key. Love it when you sing and karaoke. No, she says she on them hungry. Send me a message, say she need a you. Reply back with a winky emoji. Say she tired for you, man. Still thinking more. Every position that you like, when it is home, I feel like you that can't right. So the more I fall in love with you, baby. Me a comfy. She says, Celeste, I just wanna spend more time with you. She said, baby, me a go snatch your soul. I'm wired to have your phone. Mr. Certain with the light, come on, I bust you the girl. Me just love it. Bring it to me on the low key. Girl, I like me no key. Love it when you sing and karaoke. She said,
Home 1069.
All right, we're back inside. Mr. Weeks, you there with us, right?
Yes, I'm
okay.
here.
Luke, just hold a minute, please. Mr. Weeks, I want to get from you any prediction, anticipation about the verdict which is being handed down as we speak right now.
I follow the guidance of good counselor. You heard Luke's response when you asked him a similar question?
Yes.
I go with that. I accept that. I don't know what is in the mind of the good judge. I have not seen her judgment. I have not seen the arguments presented. I am not prepared to make a prediction out of thin air. I've not seen the arguments. I've not seen the judgment. It's in a few hours we will hear what the judgment is.
Okay. And did you say who you're supporting for National Hero if that is to be done tomorrow or later the month or at Independence?
I said I am convinced that Dr. J.P. Yusa should be named our second national hero. I am convinced.
Okay. And alongside him, if yes.
I am neither here nor there with them. I have not heard the argument presented in the way Luke and his father before him presented the argument for Dr. J.P. Eustace to be named the national hero. The argument is convincing. I can't say the same for any of the others.
Okay.
So it's neither here nor there with any of them for me. But what I can say though, that a number of things are said about Milton Cato. That even the persons who say them contradict themselves. I want to go back, Bing. I will leave shortly for you to continue this great conversation with Luke Brown. I want to go back, and I spoke about critical thinking and critical analysis, and I want to say a little about it. Because very often we confuse the thought with criticism. When we talk about critical support and critical thinking, very often we think that means that you must, even though you're supporting, you must criticize.
You must not, or you must? What do you?
You must.
You must. Okay, all right.
That's not what it is. It is distilling the important points in the situation. That's what critical analysis is. That's what critical thinking is. To be able to distill, to take out the very important point. And that's what Luke has done and has been doing with respect to this issue that he's bringing to us. I also want to make the point, Bing, even as you mentioned, remember you were the one who asked me to name Mr. Thomas, you knew what I was saying. Yeah. The point is, I am not necessarily speaking about Mr. Thomas, I am speaking about the things he says. He says from time to time, the things he said, the things he says from time to time. That's what because I think some of the things he says, had damaging to the development of the descendants and the Ghanaians, so young people. And before I go, Bing, it would be helpful to me and many of your listeners if you were able to define for us what is meant by honorary citizenship generally, and more importantly, in the context of giving it to Garifuna people.
And what it means coming back to take away our lands and our jobs.
You see, you continue to play the big boy.
No. I am. You know, I'm following up with what you're saying.
You continue to play the big boy in the back of the class.
What it means that honorary citizenship
a very serious
means that they're coming home to take our jobs in our lands.
What does it mean? What does it entail?
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get around to that before the morning is out.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Bing.
I appreciate it. Catch you on Wednesday morning, on Thursday morning.
Have a great night.
Say good morning to Tanya, please, before you go.
Hi, Tanya. Good morning.
All right.
And thanks, Mr. Weeks. Good being on air with you this morning.
Thanks.
All right. Look, speaking about critical analysis and critical support and critical thinking, you have in recent time, I read two of your writings on some of our institutions, on CWSA and on VINLEC.
Yes.
You've been quite critical of these institutions. And we're not used to seeing people who are supporters, who are considered to be in the heart of the ULP, coming out and publicly making those kind of critical analysis of institutions that are government institutions. And to that, I want to get back to what's been happening with you since you returned home.
No problem, Bing. I'm happy that you raised it, because the truth is I am somebody who is interested in change at our utility companies. I've looked at the utility companies. I've studied many cases that are associated with them, and I believe that we need to do better there. You take, for instance, the Central Water and Sewage Authority. What I wrote about was the recent plight of a young mother of a 15-month-old baby who, in very difficult circumstances, was made to endure a disconnection of her water supply. And, and this is against the conventional wisdom in the industry. No, and not only is it against the conventional wisdom in the industry, it is related to an issue that is affecting a wide cross-section of Vincentians. My interest is to be as useful and as helpful to the Vincentian public as possible. That is why I'm involved in politics. That is why I'm a lawyer. That is why I do all the activities that I am involved in, because I want to be as useful to them as possible. And I want to talk a little bit about this CWSA case. You have a situation where a lady is accustomed to paying a water bill of $45 a month. There was a problem with a leak unbeknownst to her, and as a result of that, her water bill went up to $900 in the month of September last year. In the month of November, it went up to $1,300. In the month of December, September, in the month of October, it went up to $1,300. In the month of November, it went up to $1,600. So we have essentially a situation where a person who is accustomed to paying a water bill of $45 per month, which would therefore have translated into about just under $150 over the course of 3 months, is being asked to pay a water bill of $4,000. How could that make sense? First of all, and there are a couple issues that must be brought to bear on this. One, CWSA in those circumstances has an obligation of informing the customer or giving the customer a notification of a potential problem. This is not an alien practice. This is something that is done in Barbados. This is something easy to facilitate. You have people going on a monthly basis to check the meter. If somebody is accustomed to paying $45 a month and their bill reaches $900, you should bring this in a very clear and unambiguous way to the attention of the person and ask them to fix this issue. Now, if they prove that they're not going to do it and so on, then that is a different scenario altogether. The other thing is, somebody who is paying a bill of $45 per month must have some sort of, there must be some sort of inbuilt credit limit associated with that customer. You can't allow the customer's account to reach from $45 to $900 without maybe a preemptive disconnection, a preemptive inquiry, because you know something is wrong. And one, if you have that system in place, you're going to save yourself from wasting water in the first place, and you're going to prevent the customer from incurring a bill that is impossibly high for them to pay.
True.
So we didn't have any of that in place here. So we didn't have any notification being given to the customer. We didn't have any system of credit limit being put in place. But at the back end now, because of this high bill, and this is a customer who was in good standing with CWSA, who was even ahead of schedule with their payments. But as a result of that, in the circumstances where she has a 15-month-old baby in her care and a young family, you're going to disconnect her water supply. In the first place, in some countries, it is illegal to disconnect somebody's water supply for any reason at all. But you have here these specific, and not only is it illegal to disconnect water supply, they also have a policy where all excess charges over and above the usual monthly charge in the situation of a leak are waived. So we're not asking anybody to reinvent the wheel. We're simply asking them to invent sensible policies. Somebody who cannot, if need be, find $150 tomorrow to pay for a medical emergency can't be asked by the CWSA to pay a water bill of $4,000. That is, and then you believe, okay, we offer a concession, we give you the opportunity to get things restored. If instead of the $4,000 you pay $2,000. But $2,000 still is her water bill for 4 years. You asking somebody to pay the water bill for 4 years? When you could have nipped the problem in the bud and save yourself from wasting water and save her from incurring these excessive charges? That's the kind of system we have in place here. And this is not a problem that is affecting one person. This is a problem that is affecting the number of people I know that have been affected by this. Tells me that something has to be done to change the system. And then we don't have a situation where there is an active regulator. If you have a issue with, say, a telephone company and so on, and there's some challenges that are systemic associated with this that need to be addressed. If you have an issue with a telephone company provider, you have a regulator that you could go to and seek to have some quick redress. And because of the fact that CWSA knows that water is essential, they already made this lady go for 10 days without water. They know that water is essential, so they're trying to use their position of strength and leverage to basically bully somebody into paying their water bill for 4 years before they could get back a connection. This is ridiculous, and this has to change.
We experienced similar thing. It so happened that, lucky enough, my dad, when the guy came to read the meter, he just took off the main cap. When he took it off, he realized the meter is still spinning, which shouldn't be. So he assumed that there have to be a leak somewhere. It was actually a leak under the ground. So we checked and checked till we find the leak.
We got someone who want to talk. Good morning, Collie. You're live. You with Luke Brown.
Morning, Luke Brown. You make a very, very valid argument there. Now, my question to you is, why you think the government should jump in and implement laws, use the same energy that the government used to implement the cybercrime bill, to implement a law to prevent this stiff arm and this bullying by CWSA, Flow, Digicel and all these other companies, because now water is essential.
Water is essential. Let me tell you something. We had the experience, not to cut you off or anything like that, we had the experience of going without water for a 1 day or a 2 days after the Christmas Eve rains and after La Soufrière erupted. You know what that was like? I would not
No,
wish.
that is
I would not
absolutely-
wish the absence of water on my worst enemy. But you want to subject a woman to this kind of
With a young
treatment with a young child, to this kind of inhumane treatment because of a leak, that she did not know about. You want her
the
to go.
government need to step in and implement
I
laws.
agree
to
100%. Because by law, it must, first of all, unless the circumstances are extreme, it must by law not be possible for CWSA to cut off your water in these circumstances.
Exactly, and the very other valid point you make, it should be a limit, because if you're spending $45 a month and then CWSA see something jump to $90, then jump to $180, they're supposed to say, look, something going on here. Let we suspend this account temporarily, send a technician out there to investigate
Precisely.
and deal with it. Something as simple as that.
Something as simple as that. And it's not even $90 this week, and it's $900.
You see, and
That's
why we need-
2,000. That's 20 times the woman usual bill. And you allow that to run off, and then want to come and punish her at the back end. That kind of thing is not right. That's a wicked act.
That's why we need new growth in the system. Man like you, new growth in the system instead of them old gumball in battery there. They need to cut down and bring up some growth.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. So, what eventually came of this situation?
Well, what eventually came of the situation is that the woman was basically, CWSA dictated or directed that she paid the $2,000 before she get the water back.
Hold on, caller, you're live. Good morning.
A big morning.
Morning.
I want to big up Luke Wrong and the issue of the National Heroes.
Thank you.
I like Mr. Youssef to be a national hero.
All right.
And I'm really, really impressed with Luke's presentation this morning. My next representative in East Kingston. Thank you, Bing.
Thank you. So this lady still has to pay this $2,000.
She still has to pay the $2,000. I mean, and it is something that has to be addressed. I'm planning to do some further work on it. Well, you know that I mean, and let me tell you something, Bing. When this problem arose, it's not like I just jumped to talk about this in the public and so on at the first opportunity. I spoke to every person of relevance to this matter in the Central Water and Sewage Authority, from captain to cook. And this demonstrated the kind of imperviousness to change and the kind of insensitivity to the plight of this woman that made me recognize that in order for us to achieve change in this matter, we have to use different tools that might be at our disposal.
And look, it's not just this. There are many other people who experience this all the
Of
time.
course,
many other people.
We just have to
you hear it right in studio.
To catch it as it starts, because normally our water bill will be like 30, 31, 32, and when we got the next bill, it was $50 something. That's because we happen to catch it early before.
Bing, and
when
when I spoke about this publicly in the form of a post on Facebook, the number of persons who, first of all, on that post shared the fact that they had similar experiences, and the number of persons who reached out to me separately suggest people should go and protest at CWSA about this kind of thing that is subjecting people to. This is a widespread problem that has to be addressed, and this is a problem that has been addressed elsewhere, so it's not alien to human civilization. We have systems in place that are working and that were built up to prevent this kind of abuse of customers, this type of wicked act against customers. All we have to do is look at those examples and implement something sensible.
Let's talk about Vinlec. You had a case with Vinlec now. You had a
And the case with Vinlec was slightly different. You see, I wanted to work on it. I wanted to talk about the different issues from different perspectives.
Right.
Now, in relation to Vinlec, I think that the root of all evils, in a way, is the point that you cannot access or get onto Vinlec by telephone.
Very true.
Very true. So that is the foundation of a woeful customer service record, and that is bad. You want, if somebody can't get onto you in that kind of a way for a prolonged period of time, you might be trying for 3 days. It's total disregard. Then if you go and talk to somebody, they will say, well, you have to take into consideration the fact that other people are trying to get onto Vinlec at the same time. I mean, what nonsense you're telling me? So you mean you have a telephone operating system that is not fit for your purpose? So fix that. Get a human, and there's nothing wrong with hearing a human voice on the phone when you're calling in the first place, because sometimes you need somebody to talk to orient you on Vinlec and then direct your call. They're notorious for that. There are other elements of customer service issues as well. But you see, they also resort, because they feel that they're in this position of dominance, they also resort to some strong arm tactics as a matter of a first resort instead of it being sort of a last resort option. Take, for instance, and this is the example that I shared recently, you have a corporate customer of Vinlec in the middle of the work day at 9:30 in the morning with a good payment record, a small amount of arrears, being disconnected, and you can't reach Vinlec to organize payment and so on. And it's a case where this person was just not thinking about their electricity bill at the front of their mind, and you could have achieved the same purpose by giving them notification of the arrears and asking them to make payment to avoid disconnection. First of all, that is going to achieve the very same objective with just about the same amount of energy on the part of Vinlec. If you're interested in collecting money, if that is your interest, sometimes you want to know if their interest go beyond collecting money, and it would have preserved a good relationship with the party that has been affected. I mean, we have to take a more sensible and sensitive approach in relation to the conduct of our affairs. These are just some areas. I mean, you look through the rest of our society and we see areas where there might be potential abuse, and we have to target those in the interest of the public welfare. That is what has to be our guiding light. What is in the interest of the public welfare? And the truth is, this requires, in order to stick to this, in order to stick to your guns and to stick to the task and to push forward, you need conviction and character. Because when you come up against opposition from well-entrenched powers or authorities and so on, you don't have conviction, you could easily lose your way. You could easily abandon the course. You could easily give up. You could easily retreat into your simple and comfortable life and say, well, I don't have to do this. Things would work itself out and so on. But that's not how you get progress. And I'm interested in the progress, in having progress in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at all costs.
Look, what's going on? What is Luke Brown doing now? You came back, you went and did your studies. You're now a lawyer. Yes. What's up with Luke Brown now?
Well, I basically came back to pick up where I left off. I thought that the study of law was important for a couple of reasons. It, first of all, gives me a very strong and independent professional platform, which is useful. It gives me an opportunity to contribute to a renewal and a reinvigoration of my father's law practice, which has been around since 1984, almost 40 years. Practice that's older than me, a great history. Daddy himself has been at the bar for almost 50 years, so basically continuing that legacy. It also gives me an opportunity, it allowed me to add a very important dimension to my ability to represent people, because very often the issues which came before me as a politician before I studied law had a legal dimension or a legal component, and I think that the study and the fact that I was recently called to the bar helped me to be more relevant and valuable and useful to persons. And you see, when people are looking for someone to do a job, I think whatever that job might be, it may be the job of representative, it may be just representation in a legal capacity. They want to get somebody who is best fit to do that job, and I want to present myself to people in general as the person best fit to do the job that they call upon me to do. So law has allowed me to do that. So since I'm back, I've been basically down in the trenches, spending some time trying to master all elements of the practice. It's a steep learning curve. It is a new domain, and in some cases, you might have to modify protocols, the way in which you go about things, administrative arrangements, basically set up the office and not set up the office, but reconfigure the office in some areas and so on. And, I'm happy that I'm able to do that with a good group of staff surrounding me. Apart from that, I am continuing my work
So you're in the political, you're working in the political vineyard still?
Yeah, man, I'm continuing my work in the constituency of East Kingston with full vigor and full energy.
So are you hoping to run in the next general election in East Kingston?
It is still my intention to be the elected representative of East Kingston. And that would suggest that I am planning by God's grace and with the support of the people to be a candidate and to be a successful candidate at that. I think that the time is ripe. And, I don't take anything personal. I haven't taken the outcomes of previous elections personal. I know what is at play in East Kingston. I know that there are historical factors that are outside of my control. I take that for what it is. And I am just determined to do the work to overcome the weight of that history. I think we have a very good chance, all things considered. So we just have to keep doing our work diligently. Let me just make the point that you would know that in East Kingston from 2010, there has been a downward trajectory in general in terms of the margin. And in the last election, despite the fact that East Kingston is a hard constituency for the Unity Labour Party, and despite the fact that you had in most other constituencies throughout the country a decrease in the margin in the number of votes received by a candidate, if we look below the surface of the results, you would see that in East Kingston there was an increase in the number of votes I received. East Kingston is the only constituency outside of North Leeward and Central Leeward where there was an increase in the number of votes for the Labour Party candidate. As it stands, the margin of separation is under 250, and I'd like to remind everyone that in one election cycle I was able to increase or improve on a margin by over 300 votes. So this thing is well within our sights, it's well lined up, and I don't want anybody to think that I have abandoned the political project that I set on course with in East Kingston in 2010. In fact, if anything, this political project is reaching a point of critical maturity, and we are ready to bring home that seat to a condition of great and active representation, not a condition of showmanship, not a condition of lip service. And I mean, my record is very clear. Even while I'm a member of cabinet, a member of parliament, while I'm not a member of cabinet or not a member of parliament, while I'm in St. Vincent or I'm not in St. Vincent, while I'm studying or not studying, I think everybody could see that, look, Luke Brown has a strong connection to this constituency, and it's that connection that keeps me focused. It's the type of connection that in the days of Solomon made the real mother of the child say, look, I prefer you to give the child to the other woman who's not the mother rather than cut the child in half. I rather continue to execute my desire and vision to represent people in East Kingston and help them in any way possible, even if it means I have to endure the pain of defeat from time to time at the polls, because I know that so long as you are genuine and you have a great affection for the people and you are committed to their welfare and they see that, my day of victory will come.
What's your position with succession in the ULP?
Well, I think that the matter of succession is something that will be determined in accordance with the rules and laws of the party. The party has a constitution, and whatever might be the interest and desire of any individual within the party, the matter will be determined according to the rules of the constitution. So it's just important for us as a party to make sure that we give the highest possible regard to that. I mean, I have some views on the way in which things should possibly be allowed to play out in the interest of transparency and openness. And, I'm sure that...
Meaning what?
No, well, I mean, the truth of the matter is, in relation to succession, if we are honest, we're going to say that there's an elephant in the room in the sense that, the Prime Minister's son may be a candidate for succession. I think that places a burden on the Prime Minister to make sure that he isn't seen to be basically advocating the interests of his own son to the detriment of any other contender, and I think he has an appreciation for that too. He must have an appreciation for that, because I don't see him as a man who will basically subject or subordinate the interests of the party, which he himself would acknowledge is bigger than any individual within the party, to what he might see to be personally expedient. So I think that he will be careful along those lines. I mean, the truth is we have models to emulate, and we would just proceed in the way that is, I'm sure, in the best interest of the party. There's certain things that we could draw on, and maybe that is a conversation that we could have, to a fuller extent on another occasion. But, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, anybody who may want to lead the party has an opportunity to do so within the framework of the Constitution. And our party, I'm sure, including the leadership of the party, just wants to see the best results for the Unity Labour Party and for the country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I have heard discussions, Luke, where there are persons who are of the opinion, the ULP, that they're a bit scared where you're concerned, that you can be the radical boy, you can bring down the party, you can bring down the government if you need to. So you need to be handled with caution. and within the party, you've got your brother-in-law who's Sabota, and you've got that power. And they need to be careful of Luke, the Bronx, and the Caesar. What do you say about that?
Give unto Caesar what is Caesar.
Give unto Caesar what is Caesar. That's a good quote. That's a good quote. That's a good quote.
That's just in the spirit of humor. The truth is, I mean, I'm not interested in disorder. I'm interested in what is best for the party and for the government. And if what it means to be radical is if being radical means being willing to express your views on various points from time to time,
like the national insurance, NIS, and building and loan, and all these things, CWSA, VINLEC. You've expressed strong views.
Yeah, precisely. Well, I'm certainly radical in that sense of the word, but I'm also a part of the Labour Party family. It has to be said, and I'm not going to do anything that is inimical to the interests of that party. And I like to think as well that I am very conscientious in relation to my work. I work hard. I work hard, and I've been listening recently to Jordan Peterson, a world-renowned clinical psychologist who was described by the Times as possibly the most influential person in the Western world right now. He made the point that the two criteria which are most connected to being predictors of success are conscientiousness in terms of how you work, how you go about your work, and so on, and disagreeableness. Disagreeableness in the sense that if you think that it is necessary to present a different point of view, then you go ahead and present that different point of view, whatever the cost, not in the spirit of malice, not in the spirit of discord, but in the spirit of getting the best possible outcome. Because if you have quote unquote yes men, yes women around who are not prepared to contend in the realm of ideas, then that is destructive. That is destructive for everyone. And I don't want to create a destructive situation for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I love this country so much, and I pledge my loyalty and devotion to it.
Do you see that happening, that we have yes men?
Well, in some realms, you're always going to have it. I mean, but it's going to, and I'm not, that might just be a part of their psyche. I'm not necessarily knocking them here or there, but it's just that in terms of the pronouncements of clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson, you need to have an amount of disagreeableness in order for the ship to sail as smoothly as possible. It's like, I remember, I think it was Malcolm Gladwell who made that point in one of his books. If you have pilots from a particular country with a certain spirit, are better at navigating difficult conditions than pilots from a different country. Because if they see something that is going to create a possible disaster, they speak up. Whereas other persons might hold their tongue, so to speak, to the detriment of the greater good of society. I don't want to do anything that is to the detriment of the greater good of...
You will speak up.
I will speak up on issues as they arise from time to time, as you see. And... we have to remember that our foundation is in shake-up. We have a shake-up foundation.
Luke Brown inside with me. Yeah, as we wrap up, Luke, is there anything else you want to add? I know you were talking about the Luke Kids Club and things like that.
No, I was just making the point about Luke's Kids Club as being connected to the inspiration that JP Eustace has had on my life. Haven't been in the position of being able to open schools he did and so on, but I think that is the way in which I could get persons to come together. The other thing that from which I derive absolute satisfaction and is to some extent consistent with JP Eustace is helping people with their work. You know, I mean, you see me doing public advocacy and taking action in relation to issues, but there's a special joy I receive maybe from just helping a child with a maths problem. You know, that's on their homework. You know,
Yes.
you're not going to see that necessarily on the front pages or helping them with their language arts and their subject verb agreement. You know, saying, look, this is what you need to do to excel on your social studies or on your science tests and so on. That is an investment in the next generation, which is profound, and I'm planning to scale that up to have full-blown after-school classes at some point in time, maybe associated with the kids club, maybe done independently, maybe done in conjunction with schools or other institutions, because you see, I've been blessed with an array of skills, including mathematical skills. My first degree, in fact, is in mathematics and economics. I have a master's from Oxford in applied statistics. And there is an issue with mathematical education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So the more children I could help from the very early stages, at the primary level, the secondary level, even at the community college, even at university, I think I would be making, a parallel contribution to taking St. Vincent and the Grenadines forward. I do it in public life, I do it in public capacities, and I also do it behind the scenes for somebody who is just trying to see how well they could do at their CPA or how they could
I'm going to have you back, but this supposed to be calling. Good morning, caller. You're live with Luke.
Yeah, Luke, you said I have been a downward trend since 2010. That's what you said, 2010?
Yeah, there's been a general downward trajectory.
2010, no, 2010, you lost by 467 votes.
Well, hear what? I don't need you
it's
to talk.
2015. It's just 1 year you had a downward trend, which was 2015.
Well, I'm not sure that you understand.
1 year.
I'm not sure that you understand the meaning of trend very well. In 2010, the margin was 467, and today the margin is under 250. That is downward. All right, a downward trend doesn't mean from one point to the next. It has always gone down. And this no. But I'm saying a downward trend doesn't mean that they have been downward movements.
You had a downward trend from 2015 to 2020.
I said
your was reduced. Your numbers.
Let him speak.
I said we've been on a downward trend since 2010. 2010, the margin, as you said, was 467. Today, it's under 250. That is downward.
Last question. Were you in a downward trend from 2015 to 2020? Well, your numbers.
Well, it looks like you want to create your own parameters for the discussion. I've established mine.
All right.
And I'd like us to
Thank you.
We will talk more about the trend after the next episode.
Yeah. Look, you can be considered as one of the few persons, and I'll have to bring you back next time. But I just want you to give me a short bit of it. Who can be considered one of the few persons in the country based on your qualification and your training, who can speak in an effective, in a professional, in an expletive way on the national insurance scheme?
Yeah.
In a capsule, before you go, what's your take on what's happening at the NIS?
Well, the truth is, I think you're right. Based on my credentials as an economist, based on the fact that I've actually done a stint working as an attaché to the NIS on pension reform matters in an earlier dispensation, and also because of the fact that I've studied the issues and I think I'm quite conversant on it, I'm in a good position to make an assessment of what's going on, and I've sought to offer some public comments in relation to NIS, and I think that those public comments basically encapsulate my position and my views on the NIS. And so just simply, in a nutshell, the first of three articles which I wrote had to do with the need for us to address the anomaly of pensions for public servants being able to be over 100% of their final reference salary. I think that we need to address that. We also need to address the issue of the non-alignment of the retirement age with the pension age, because let's face it, somebody right now, the person who is basically near retirement might be retiring at 65, but many contracts of employment end at 60. So when you work contract of employment ends at 60
What
and you retire at 65, what is going to happen to you for 5 years? How are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to take care of your general responsibilities? They might say, okay, take early retirement, but you take early retirement at the cost or expense of discounted benefits. So that's not even an option. And from a sustainability standpoint for the NIS, if you have persons making contributions to the pool for a longer period of time, it helps with their sustainability. So we have a win-win scenario before us by aligning the retirement age with the pensionable age. This might be something that has to be done through legislative intervention, but it is purely a sensible thing. And then I made some specific points in relation to pension reform. I think that there could be a recalibration. I suggested that the NIS needs to, especially since we came out of a round of reforms that resulted in an increase in the contribution rate and an increase in the retirement age. I think the NIS has a responsibility of exploring all other possibilities of reform before they seek to look at those options again. For instance, I've made the point that right now somebody becomes entitled to 30% of their salary. I think if they in retirement, if they work for 10 years, and the typical person who has contributed to NIS over the course of a number of years will earn back, in a way, all their contributions within 2 years of retirement. I mean, how could that be sustainable? I mean, really, I think reasonable people would say, look, if there should be an extension of the period during which I will recoup all of my contributions over these years. So you explore those types of possible reforms, you cost those types of possible reforms, you tell us how much longer the NIS would be able to survive if we were to go that road, and then if there is the need for us to do something additional in respect to other things, then we do whatever additional may be required. So and I have very clear ideas on that. I've set that out in the public discourse. I also want to do some more work on the NIS, because right now, understandably, we are talking about NIS in terms of pension reform. We also have to make an assessment of what we should do in relation to self-employed persons. I think the NIS is grappling with that right now, what type of self-employed regime should be in place. I've heard arguments by people who say, look, we don't need to have anything in place for self-employed persons because they could work out their own salvation, so to speak. But that argument, I think, falls flat, because the person who is employed and is paid a salary could also say, I would work out my own salvation. The ability to work out your own salvation is not contingent on you receiving a salary as distinct from being self-employed. So they should look at how we could have a greater participation from self-employed persons. And then down the road, there's some other weightier topics, not necessarily connected with the immediate focus, along the lines of how should we go about, or should we consider national health insurance provided through the NIS? Should we consider some sort of a unemployment benefit provided through the NIS? Those are also topics to be tackled front on in due course.
I've got a question here, many questions, but this one jumped out. What are your views on non-contributors getting money from NIS?
Well, I think that the NIS has a broad social role to play. Nothing that is done with the NIS or at the NIS should be at the expense of its sustainability or should jeopardize its ability to deliver to its stakeholders. But I think that the NIS, being a part and parcel of wider society, has a responsibility to take care of things which might not necessarily fall squarely within its employment or employee benefit remit. So if the NIS could provide some relief to persons who are in difficult positions, then by all means, it also ties in somewhat to what I was saying about the unemployment benefits. We must be our brother's keeper in one way or the other sometimes.
Look, I want to thank you very much this morning. We are out of time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm sure we're going to have you back to discuss NIS and other things pertaining to Luke Brown and his future. We didn't get to touch more of that, what I wanted to touch on. Thank you very much for this morning and your position on National Hero, on your putting forward the case of Dr. J.P. Yusuf. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. No problem. It's a pleasure. Always good to be in studio with
bad man.
With the real bad man.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you.
Blessings.
Yeah, thank you, Luke.
Respect.
Thank you, Luke.
And good morning to all Vincentians. In advance, happy National Heroes Day. I hope we have even more reason to celebrate tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's take a quick break. We come right back. We got Dr. Richards joining us when we come right back.
Discover new Guinness Smooth. Perfectly balanced for a smooth, refreshing taste. New Guinness Smooth.
Provide you with
Isn't it good to know that no matter where you are, you're covered? Covered by a company owned by Vincentians that understands your unique insurance needs. At Metrosint General Insurance Company, we've invested 50 years of service to guarantee that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. When it comes to motor vehicle, property, employer's liability, business insurance, and much more, we've got you covered. Our professional and friendly staff understands your needs and ensures you understand your options. Metrosint General Insurance Company.
The jackpot? Well, there is an easy way. Combo Play. Choose 4 numbers from 1 to 36. That's a combo 4 at a cost of $64. Match any 4 of the 5 numbers and win the Lotto jackpot. There's Combo 6, where you purchase 6 numbers for only $12. Match any 5 of the 6 Lotto numbers and hit the jackpot. How about Combo 7? That's a purchase of 7 Lotto numbers for $42. Match any 5 of the 7 numbers and you will win the jackpot. There are also Combo 3, Combo 8, and Combo 9 Lotto plays. Visit the NLA headquarters in Pauls Avenue or WhatsApp 495-6886 for more details. Lotto, you have to be in it to win it.
Fast Pay, a new and easy way to pay. Fast Pay, Fast Pay.
Always wanted a motorcycle, but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see courts of motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Sheena, this short, chubby little guy, you know. I purchased 2 bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. This blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon. This is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
Flow is keeping you connected.
The Mindset, bringing you emotional clarity with therapeutic discussions, illuminating your awareness and getting expert advice on mental health issues that we struggle with on a daily basis. Tune into The Mindset on Tuesday and Wednesdays at 11:15 a.m. right here on Boom 106.9.
Protect the children. Yeah. Don't be afraid to speak out. Teach the kids their rights. Physical and sexual abuse must stop. Join me in this fight now. I want you to see suspect say among friends and families. See suspect say in the schools and communities. Children are the future. They depend on you. Report to
Gone. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
No matter where we come from, the journey begins the same for all of us. There are no easy ways to achieve our dreams. The road is paved with determination and hard work, fueled by the love of what we do and the ones we do it for. At the St. Vincent Cooperative Bank, we share your vision to succeed. It runs generations deep. That's why we continue to take this journey with you. It's probably not what you expected from a bank, but we're not just any bank. We're the People's Bank.
St. Vincent Cooperative Bank.
Your penny bank, and so much more. For more information, call us at 456-1894 or visit our website today at www.svcooperative.bank.com.
There's Smooth.
And then there's Guinness Smooth.
It's a brand new cool.
Incredibly smooth.
Perfectly balanced.
For a smooth and refreshing taste.
So how smooth? Well smooth. Guinness Smooth.
For a smooth and refreshing taste, new Guinness Smooth. Must be 18 years or older. Drink responsibly. Socialize responsibly.
Hola, amigos! The Awesome Family Circus comes to SVG. Bring the whole family to the Victoria Park on the Easter weekend for 4 spectacular shows on Sunday, April 8th at 6 p.m. Then on Sunday, April 9th, also at 6 p.m. And on Monday, April 10th, get ready for 2 massive shows. Starting time 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. featuring the world's famous circus performers. Come and enjoy great family entertainment with clowns, magicians, acrobats, and much, much more. It's the Awesome Family Circus, sponsored by Vitamol, the NLA, in collaboration with Easy Bake, Island Sips, Coca-Cola, Digicel, and Ticket Pal.
General Hardware still has the best prices on steel, lumber, and plywood. So go on, compare prices. And if by chance you find a better price, no stress. Just talk to the General, and they will beat that price plus give you special priority delivery. Yes, General Hardware offers free island-wide delivery on most purchases, so you never have to worry about getting your goods on site on time. Plus, shopping at General Hardware is a pleasant experience with friendly, knowledgeable staff always ready to serve. What more could you wish for, huh? So come to General Hardware for proper service, lowest prices, free delivery, and see why nobody beats the General. Nobody.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Is your home and business protected? The safety and security of your business and property should be your top priority. Introducing Sheriff PSS, the security company that goes above and beyond to provide you with peace of mind. Copy that. We're on our way. Our team of highly tactically trained security officers are armed and equipped to handle any situation, from burglary to cash escort and everything in between. And with our wireless security monitoring technology, we can detect and respond to any threat in real time. So join the Sheriff PSS family today and protect what matters the most. Call us at 456-2844 or email executive.sheriff@gmail.com. With Sheriff, no mission is impossible.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Are you into the agricultural industry? Do you want the funds to grow your business? Quartz Ready Cash Small Business Loans is launching the $20 million agricultural fund. All you need to apply is your ID, proof of address, and 2 references, and you will receive the funding to get the equipment, tools, products, staffing, and services to grow your business. Plus, you pay nothing down. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and convenient hassle-free service. Don't hesitate. Apply today at www.readyfinancecaribbean.com or call 493-3840. Quartz Ready Cash Small Business Loans. Every day, we help businesses succeed.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Ace March Mania is back! It's an entire month of freeness at any Ace location. Buy 3 items and get 1 free. You can mix and match on select items in household like fixtures, faucets, power tools, lawn and garden items, locks, and all Orange Dot items. When you buy any 3, the 4th item is on us. But wait, get free thin set with every $250 tile purchase. Shop at Ace Hardware in Kingstown, Ace 2 in Arnesville, or Ace 3 in Pembroke, and join in on the Ace March Mania Freeness. Don't forget to shop online at www.careersbuilding.vc. Careers Hazel's terms and conditions apply. Offer ends March 31st.
Sutherland's Real Estate, providing services in property sales, property management, property development, furniture and household equipment sale, tenant selection, preparation of rent or lease contracts, garage sale, also eviction services. Call today at 498-1924 or 433-9362. You can also email sutherlandsrealestate@gmail.com or visit our website at www.sutherlandsrealestate.com. At Sutherland's Real Estate, your comfort is our business.
District Stairs is celebrating Heritage Month with 10% off all vinyl flooring and free shipping during the month of March. Vinyl flooring is beautiful, versatile, water resistant, and durable. Vinyl flooring, ideal for commercial and office buildings. It's the most affordable flooring and so easy to install that you can do it yourself. Find the District Stairs on Instagram, Facebook, or districtstairs.com or WhatsApp 289-2007-649. At District Stairs, you'll find vinyl flooring that's suitable for every room in the home.
Let's check in with the doc and look at things with a wider lens. Pastor Richards on OMG.
Know why? Is there something wrong?
Let's check in with the doc and look at things with a wider lens. Pastor Richards on OMG.
Doc, can you call us via the phone, please? Sip it, Doc. Sip it.
Okay. We good?
Doc, are you hearing us?
I can hear you well. I'm not sure you can hear
We're not
me.
hearing you. We don't know. Is your
Okay.
mic muted?
Nope. Let me try again. Let me go
We're
out.
not hearing you
and-
at all, Doc.
All right, hold on.
Huh?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Sip it, Doc.
Yeah,
Sip
can
it.
you
We're
hear
gonna
me,
get
Bing?
it sorted out.
I'm not even here. Can you hear me, Bing?
In the meanwhile, while we await Doc, while Shady make the connection that he needs to make, let us tell you about. Well, are we ready there with him?
Can you hear me at
Let's
all?
tell you about TLC Nursing Home. We are on a mission to top.
Let's check in with the doc and look at things with a wider lens. Pastor Richards on OMG.
Residents tailoring the care they provide to suit each individual person. The residential care is for older persons who are finding it increasingly difficult to manage at home without additional help and support. They also offer care for all sorts of people. They have spacious single, double, and triple rooms available at affordable and competitive prices for full-time and short-time residents and daycare clients. Their daily program, Monday to Friday, from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., includes arts and craft, reading and Bible study, chit chats and discussion, exercise, and outing. They also provide meals. Find them today in Lower Kingston Park or call them at 784-491-8276. That's 784-491-8276. Or TLC Nursing Home 1 at gmail.com. Remember, at TLC Nursing Home, compassion is at the heart of their care. The sound of passion, the sound of music, the sound of the streets, the sound of greatness. Monday, July 10th, 2023, Guinness Posse return. Please enjoy Guinness responsibly. Must be 18 years and older to enjoy. Visit the Health Bar, St. Vincent's #1 source for premium supplements and vitamin, gym accessories, gluten-free and health food at delicious smoothies available as well. This month, they join the world in celebrating International Women's Day. March 8th, from now through to 18th, women enjoy 5% off all items store-wide, an additional 5% off all featured items, including Slim Fast products, women's creative, Nike women items, 10% off all scented candles, and much more. The Health Bar is also the home of Smoothie Juice Bar in Kingston, where you can grab your healthy smoothie, protein bar, and coffee and juices. From March 8th to the 11th, stop by at time and enjoy free samples and product alongside with the chance to taste and preview some of their new product offering. Call the Head Bar at 432 5841 or email them at thehealthbarsvg@gmail.com or follow them on IG at healthbar_svg. The Health Bar for a healthy you. All right, let's see if we can get Doc in now. I know it's been way over time. Okay, Shady's doing
Can you
something.
guys
I
hear
don't know
me?
what he's doing. Doc?
Can you guys
Oh
hear?
my
Can you hear
gosh.
me?
Really have to make up
Can you
for
hear
this
me at
time
all?
this morning.
All right, here. Hold on.
No, nothing.
All right, I'm gonna have to make a call.
We're not hearing you. Can you call me? Call
Yeah.
451-1069. Doc? And let's do it that way while you're still on camera. 451-1069. That's what Jomo had to do this morning. 451-1069, Doc, if you're hearing me. But I know and this morning we will let you get in on the extra time. All right, that's him calling. Leave it alone, Chidi. Leave it alone. Good morning, Doc. Hello.
Good morning. I hope you guys can hear me.
We're hearing you. We're certainly hearing you, Doc. We're certainly hearing you.
Yeah. I have a. Let me just make an apology. I have a wedding to conduct in just a little bit. In fact, so a couple of minutes there. So I have to be short. I listened to Luke this morning, and yeah, I thought that was like a refreshing thing. And what he did was very, very helpful. I wish I had more time to comment on a number of takeaways from that, because I think it was rather positive for us. You know, I like listening to people who can articulate their thoughts well, but Luke also, because I've known him and his family, to be fair. So let me be fair out there, the disclaimer. I've known him and his family for quite some time and admired, what they bring to the table. I found Luke to be a very, very disciplined gentleman, especially with respect to his study. I know of his study habits, and he lives out what my mom taught me growing up. The heights of great men, reach and kept, was not attained by sudden flight, but they, while the companions slept, kept toiling upward in the night. And I happen to know of Luke's study habit, his work habit, how regimented he is with respect to sleep, playtime versus work time. And what you heard this morning is not merely just natural gifting. What you heard this morning is by dint of years upon years upon years of application. I thought that was very, very inspiring to people who can polish their game, up their game, by putting in the work. I wish I had time to say a whole lot more about Luke, but also the matter on which he weighed in on, and the matter of the discussion related to the national hero. And I've listened for years on this debate. Last year I pitched in and I talked about my own criteria, not the official criteria according to the act, but I listed my own criteria for some other things that I would add to in the consideration as you vet a national hero. Time does not permit me to articulate and to list the things that I would add in addition to what's already there for consideration. The greater point I want to make this morning in the next couple of minutes, I have about 2-3 minutes left. The greater point I want to make is not so much the who with respect to the national hero, but the why. I think that we are exhausting, or we are definitely stirring up the discussion on the who should be national hero. And I think that the who of the national hero is a secondary matter. Frankly speaking, I don't mean to offend anyone. Honestly, I don't mean to offend anyone. But conceptually, whether you want to take philosophically or ideologically, what you want to get out of it, conceptually, the who of the national hero discussion and debate is a secondary matter as to the why. The greater debate, I think, should be over why. Why do we need national hero? What are we trying to get out of it? What is there to be leveraged? What is the purpose? Because if we understand the purpose, hear me being. If we understand the purpose, the reason behind why we should have national hero or heroes, then it would significantly alter the discussion, or at least shape or put in context the discussion. There is something to be. We don't have national heroes just to check boxes. That's not the purpose. Having national heroes is not to reward people for work done, whether it is the positive alteration of the course of history, or their giving of service, or their sacrificial contribution on the political scene, on the economic scene, on the social scene. Those are part of the criteria, to be sure. But we don't have national heroes to reward them. In fact, one of the conditions, and Luke nailed it, one of the conditions that you had to be dead. You have to be dead. So it is not about the people who have made the contribution at all. When you begin to examine and dissect the purpose for having a national hero, it's not about them at all. It's about us. It's about the impact on the national psyche, the national mind, the national pride, and I could go on and on. It is creating this oomph of inspiration. And when I did my piece on national hero back then, I made a big thing about it. It is this inspirational figure to the nation. And I don't think I heard in all of the people who have been talking about this thing, I don't think I heard them highlighting the value of leveraging inspiration to create a better people. I don't have time to talk about the way it was done in folk, in mythical literature. Achilles, Hercules, and we could go on and on, the other heroes, how this third folklore, how they created stories, this nexus of heroism, how they created songs, and how that became part of the national psyche of the exploit, the value of story and the value of storytelling, and building off what these heroes, to a large extent, therefore, it is not always only about what these people have done. That's part of it. But your ability now to create a culture, your ability to create not mythology but folklore, your ability to create this larger-than-life figure in our legends and all of that will captivate the mind of youth and young boys and girls, that whatever these heroes brought to the table, it is stirred within these younger people. Golly, man, I'm out. They don't want to say so much about the why. We need to drive the why. And I want to applaud when the Ministry of Education picks up on pushing these things within our secondary schools and primary schools, giving out substantial awards for people who could write stories. You can have a body of stories on people like J.P. Eustace or Shakespeare or Mackintosh or all of the other people that you have put out there for national hero. You don't have to necessarily designate and name them national hero to create the leveraging that you want for the nation. Get them to write the stories before they become national heroes. Get them to write songs and award them, reward them, put them out there. Get them to invent or to create drama, short screen pieces. People are into technology now. Develop these things so that these stories begin to permeate our minds, and the inspirational effect will be had whether or not they are named national heroes. The inspirational effect will be had. Why do we need national heroes? Maybe another day, because I really have to run.
Unfortunately, Doc, I really would have loved to have had you on for a little bit more. So you could have expanded your points some more, because I know that you've got a lot to say. You've had a lot to say in the past with regard to this issue.
Yes, you remember. Yes.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
glad you remember. Yes.
So certainly, hopefully, we can pick it up on Wednesday morning if you wish. All right. So thank you very much. Anything to say on the ruling that we're waiting to come down? I'm in touch with somebody in the court who, they're still waiting. Anything to say? Like expectations?
Yeah, we want to hear the ruling. That's what I have to say. I want to hear the ruling. And when you hear the ruling, then you can begin to understand the ruling. So it's not just hearing the ruling and giving a feedback also. It's the hearing the ruling and respecting that this is a judge of renown that's making the ruling, and therefore seek to educate yourself by understanding the ruling. And then, if you have a reaction to the ruling, you can have a reaction. But there's nothing to react to. As I sit here, there's nothing to react to.
Yes.
But I've got to go, okay?
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Dr. Richards, thank you very much. And thank you to Doc for being a trooper this morning, because we are having some technical issues because we had a power outage, and some of the settings on our equipment would have changed and all sort of things. But we made it through this morning. I want to thank you very much for being with us. The reason why we went over, because we had a lot to say and a lot to do this morning. But before I go, let me remind you that you can win more and save more when you sign up for Flow Internet. Get a super fast 250 megabytes package for only $100. That's $20 saving every month, plus a chance to win your share of $30,000 in cash and prizes weekly. Terms and conditions do apply. Flow, keeping you connected. At Smart Tech, check out Smart Tech Electronics, located in the Baines building, the blue building between the Bank of SVG and LG Sales on the middle floor at Halifax Street. At Smart Tech, they have quality powered speakers, guitars, and accessories, studio powered monitors, professional mixers, professional amplifiers, car speakers, car stereos, drum sets, pianos, wired and wireless microphones, sewing machines, solar panels, microwaves, air fryers, television sets, and more. They offer services that install security cameras and motor gates. Call Smart Tech today at 433-1502. That's 433-1502. Hey, are you still battling the Christmas aftermath? Well, that can be challenging, and you're still trying to survive the first quarter of the year. Well, you can begin the next quarter on the financial right foot on your Saver loan. That means consolidate your debt up to $25,000. You squeeze your bills into one low monthly payment. Once you owe, Save Your Loan is the way to go. For further information and to learn how to become a member, contact KCCU at Granby Street, Kingston, St. Vincent, or call 457-2409. Visit www.kingstoncreditunion.com to learn more. KCCU, changing lives one member at a time. Let me remind you of Coates, where designer brands like a boss with style. Only at Coates Optical. Shop with ready finance and pay $0 down for 90 days. Make your appointment today online or at coatesoptical.com. Ask them about free eye exams and blue block. Terms and conditions apply. Coates Optical. Value you can see. Beautyolics, have you been seeking a place to get your manicures, pedicures, and waxing service done? Check out Beautyolics, located in Camden Park, opposite the Bureau Standard building on the basketball court stretch. They offer gel manicure, gel structured manicure, gel extension manicures, gel pedicures, spa pedicures, regular pedicures, body waxing which includes full face, armpit, genitals, and legs, eyebrow shaping, eyebrow waxing and tinting. They offer these services at an affordable cost that can fit your budget. Book your appointment today on Facebook, on Instagram at Beautyolics, or contact them at 784-527-2033. That's 527-2033. Their services are strictly professional and waxing and and relaxing and are conducted by highly trained professional. Try them. You won't regret it. They are looking forward to serving you in the area of service you select. They can't wait to serve you. Well, this is the way we're going to wrap it up. We had quite an interesting morning. We're still waiting to get an update on the ruling by the judge. I saw some messages coming in. A ruling. Well, okay, that's not it. So we still here waiting to get that done. All right, until tomorrow morning. Okay, we just got it. The High Court judge has ruled that the government's COVID-19 vaccine mandate and the dismissal surrounding therefrom are unconstitutional and void. Justice Esco Henry is handing down her ruling now. Okay, that's not the complete ruling. That's not all of it. That's just the beginning of it. The High Court has ruled that the government's COVID-19 vaccine mandate and the dismissal springing therefore are unconstitutional and void. Justice Henry is handing down her ruling. Well, we're going to stay on top of it. Apparently, this is the first part. This is the first part of it. So we will stay on it, and I'm sure the Jill will update you when she gets in. All right. Until Wednesday morning, when we'll be back inside. Not tomorrow morning, because tomorrow will be National Heroes Day. We won't be on a public holiday. So let's say so long, and we see them. Say so long, Shady. Come the man, speak up, the man.
I hope everyone enjoy Heroes Day tomorrow. And big up Colin and his birthday Saturday. He celebrated his birthday on Saturday.
Who the hell is Colin? Why should we care? Why should we care? Colin is celebrating a birthday.
Police.
Okay. That's my boy. Oh, you played on his. Yeah. You only bigging up because you get a job, the big work. Remember, you don't like Colin, innit?
That's not true.
That's not true. Oh, you didn't say so. Like seriously, like. Now, how could you say so? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Until Wednesday morning, we'll be back with you. All right. Be safe tomorrow. Please be safe on the roads. There'll be a number of events happening, and posters will be out.
Accidents.
Yeah. Please. Oh my gosh, there have been so many accidents happening in the last couple of weeks, and we know when there are bank holidays, public holidays, people go crazy on the roads. Please be careful on the roads. All right. Until then, we gonna love you.
We are the trending station. We are the trending station.
Me say action movie.